The following is a presentation of ESPN on ABC.
Almost heaven frozen over. A wintry night in the West Virginia mountains, already feisty as Oklahoma and West Virginia collide here in Morgantown. Welcome to ESPN Saturday Night Football on ABC, presented by Walmart, and a game with playoff implications. Oklahoma ranked number 9, West Virginia hungry for a breakout win, ranked at number 14. Already, Oklahoma State took care of TCU in the Big 12 today. They handed West Virginia its only loss. They will collide with Oklahoma in 2 weeks in Norman. That'll be for the conference championship if Oklahoma can escape this upset trap tonight in West Virginia. And welcome, Chris Fowler, Kirk Herbstreit, Samantha Ponder will join us on a wintry night here in Morgantown. Already, it has been feisty, Kirk. You were on the field pregame. This is what happened as the Sooners made their way over to that Mountaineer logo, began to jump up and down, and the guys in blue did not like it.
No, there's a little bit of history here going back to even last year when Oklahoma and West Virginia got together. Look at this. I mean, it was a melee. These guys are getting obviously after one another. I was down in the field before this, and you could see some of the wide receivers from West Virginia kind of jawing at the Oklahoma defensive backs. Baker Mayfield at the end of that trying to say, hey, let's just go out and play ball. But yeah, emotions are high. There's a lot at stake for both these teams. What are they saying? The biggest home game here in Morgantown in what, 23
years?
Yeah, so this is a big time game tonight.
You saw Mayfield in the middle of all that. He's going to be in the middle of the Oklahoma offense. After the 1-2 start, when he struggled a bit, he's been playing at an extraordinary level since then.
I would say in the last 7 weeks, he's probably playing as well as any quarterback in the country. And the one benefit that he has is they have such balance. I mean, they can run the football, and it sets up a lot of opportunities to be able to throw. This is Samaje Perine, one of the best backs in the country, who is now healthy. And if you're going to play back with 2 safeties, you're going to get a large dose of number 32 and number 25 running the football. Now, the great thing is when he starts to get going, the safeties start to get down into the box, and that opens up play action opportunities. And here's D.D. Westbrook, who's playing the last 7 weeks as well as any receiver in the country, especially on the vertical throw downfield. So Oklahoma comes in tonight. They feel very good about kind of their three-headed monster, that they can run the football to try to get a very aggressive West Virginia defense up into the box and then try to give the ball to Baker Mayfield and let him do what he does. Aggressive,
Undersized defense, but somehow they're in the top 20 in the country in scoring defense. Mountaineers offense, meanwhile, this is not a typical Holgorsen offense, is it? He's not a patient guy, but they're having to grind away with the running game, try to create big plays.
And interesting, talking to him this week, he said a couple years ago, he said everybody's running the air raid in the Big 12. We decided to become more physical, run the football, and that's what they're able to do. Last year, they were over 200 yards a game. That's what they're doing this year because they have a veteran offensive line. Look at the continuity up front. Look at the blocking. Look how they open it up for their backs, and they've got a trio of backs themselves to be able to be physical, and it takes some of the pressure off of their quarterback, Skyler Howard. What I've watched this week with film is how well he does it using his eyes, looking off coverage to come back and throw the other way. He'll have opportunities tonight against an Oklahoma defense that has struggled to defend the pass. So if they get their physical running game going early, especially with the weather, look for Skyler Howard, and we'll kind of monitor the way he's able to move the safeties and try to hit a very talented group of wide receivers for some big plays.
Yeah, Howard kind of symbolizes West Virginia. He's been told his whole life he's not good enough. Can he help engineer an upset as the snowflakes fly? It is windy, it is wintry, it is feisty. The Sooners and the Mountaineers in the place the locals say is almost heaven. Should be fun tonight in Morgantown.
Life is older than the trees.
The Nissan pregame rush with Stan Verrett, Mac Brown, and Mark May is next, after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
Stan, fellas, thank you. Welcome to a snow globe filled with 60,000 souls in Morgantown, West Virginia. Dana Holgorsen more Red Bull than blood in his veins at the moment. And his Mountaineers have been told by the committee, you don't have a quality win yet. They've been waiting all season for this opportunity at the mighty Sooners from Oklahoma. Underdogs, and they would have it no other way in one of the biggest home games in Mountaineer history. Only the third top 10 collision here in this stadium. No, they are ready. The Sooners are ready. We know you're ready. Oklahoma and West Virginia coming up in a wintry scene here. This has been the Nissan pregame rush. Kickoff from snowy Morgantown is next. But first, a look inside Nissan's Heisman House. Yesterday I was almost summery, I promise. 76 degrees here in Morgantown. The rain arrived this morning. Winter arrived about noon, and now it is 40 degrees colder than that. The snow is flying. The wind is gusting. And this could get very interesting. Oklahoma staff says we are built for these kinds of games. We'll see. Bob Siss is with Samantha Ponder.
Well, Coach, emotions were already running high in pregame. So how do you help you guys contain that and harness it so it doesn't hurt them on the field?
Yeah, as much as anything, it's good to be emotional and excited, but you still got to focus and play smart, execute. That's the name of the game, is executing.
Coach, we were just talking about in pregame how nice it was. Things have changed drastically. Does that change the game plan at all?
Well, you got to embrace it, and sure, the way this is, it's going to change things a little bit. No doubt, throwing the ball and handling the ball. You just got to deal with it.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it, Chris.
Embrace it. And Holgerson seems to be doing the same thing, all smiles on the near sideline. Stoops' team with 14 straight Big 12 wins. And they have won 10 true road games in a row. Two colorful coaches tonight. This will be fun, Kurt. West Virginia won the toss, deferred, so Sooners will get the ball first. And we'll see Mayfield go to work. Mike Molina to kick it away for the Mountaineers. Joe Mixon and Dede Westbrook are deep. It's a short kick to one of the out men. And it is fumbled out of bounds, and Sooners will take over at the 24. And here is Mayfield. Kirk, you talked about how well he's been playing lately.
Yeah, the last 7 weeks playing as well as anybody in the country. In fact, his passing efficiency is outstanding. He's got to take care of the ball, obviously, tonight in these conditions. Improvise, keeping plays alive with his feet, and also when he gets his opportunity, because of such great balance and the way they can run the ball with Samaje Perine and Joe Mixon. Dede Westbrook right now, last 7 weeks, probably not a hotter wide receiver. When they get some one-on-one chances downfield, he's got to hit number 11.
Mayfield from Austin, Texas. He's played in cold weather before, including some Bedlam games when it's typically pretty frosty in the state of Oklahoma. Perine, the big 235-pounder, is the back. And they feed it to him. And Perine, healthy. Missed almost 4 games, Kirk, but he's fresh now, and he rips off 12 on the first play.
Balance, such a big part of what they do in this offense with Lincoln Riley. Take a look at our
Chick-fil-A impact players.
And starts with Samaje Perine, obviously Dede Westbrook, Benton, and Douglas. Douglas will be on the outside, playing a lot of man-to-man against Westbrook.
They fake it to Perine. Mayfield over the middle, incomplete. Tried to get it to Westbrook on the slant, but it'll be a tough night for receivers.
You know, you just heard Bob Stoops talk to Sam about that, and this is that play action. There's something that they have a lot of confidence in, especially when 6 goes to number 11, and little push there at the end from Harper, always trying to send messages early in the game from the safeties against those receivers.
Incredible how efficient Mayfield's been when they target Westbrook. They feed Perine again. He had a monster game here a couple of years ago against the Mountaineers, 242 rushing yards. He is why, along with Joe Mixon, Stoops feels comfortable in bad weather with this offense.
This 3-3-5 defense of David Gibson is very, very aggressive. You just have the 3 down linemen, allows you to be Tony Gibson, allows you to be able to put 8 guys who can just really crowd the line of scrimmage. That time, David Long, number 11, was able to shed his block and get into the backfield before Perine can get going.
Wind whipping that snow around, and now Mayfield needs 8 on this 3rd down. Mountaineers rush only 4. Mayfield backpedals, flips it over the middle, and it's in and out of the hands of Mixon, who's a tough matchup. That's a linebacker. Justin Arndt chasing him, but it's incomplete.
That's exactly what you want if you're Oklahoma on 3rd down. Baker Mayfield does a nice job just kind of patiently waiting and waiting. And you see it. You'll take that matchup all night with Mixon against Arndt. He just simply dropped the football. Actually, that wasn't the conditions. That's just him starting to look up, looking where he might be going. Took his eye off the football, and it cost him a 1st down.
So 2 dropped for the Sooners. And Austin Seibert, who handles the punting and the place kicking, boots it away. It's a short punt, bouncing around down there. Now it's muffed, a scrum, a mistake as the Mountaineers tried to field the ball, and Oklahoma's got it. Sam Grant recovered the fumble. Special teams obviously going to be impacted on this wintry night, and the mistake by the Mountaineers sets Oklahoma up at the 34.
Yeah, poor decision here. You know, I don't know if Jennings thought that Kyrum, the ball may have touched him. See, Jennings reacts because 14 right there. I don't know if he thought it may have hit his foot that made him go after the football. See, right there, I think he thinks, oh, that ball might have hit one of my guys. I got to go get the ball. And obviously in these conditions, that's the last thing that you want to do, especially early in a football game. And the Sooners catch the first break of the game because of the conditions. See how he's waving him out of the way? To Kyrum, get out of the way. I think he thought that the ball hit his foot, and that's why he had to go for it.
It's been a day for wintry football around the country. If you've been watching some of the games in East Lansing, especially the one in the Big House, and again tonight.
That was within 15 minutes. It turned into a whiteout.
Joe Mixon is to the left of Mayfield. He's got it. And Mixon picks his way inside the 30. West Virginia's got to win 1st down, Kirk. In the words of Tony Gibson, they did not that time.
These 2 backs are probably the best tandem of backs in the country. And they both bring us something a little bit different to the table. Now that they're both healthy together, it makes this offense, along with Baker Mayfield and Dede Westbrook, probably as dangerous of offense as you have to defend because of the balance that they have in big playability.
2nd and 3. They hand it to Mixon again, and he plows near the marker at the 24. I think they'll mark him just short.
You know, Joe Mixon in the past was known as a guy that would come in on 3rd down, catch the ball out of the backfield. Pirine was a guy that would be able to plug away. And now he's really developed and grown, become a complete back.
Mayfield wanted to get that official out of the way and run the play quickly, didn't they?
They didn't substitute, so he was definitely trying to get that ball off snap.
And now they'll back up out of the shotgun on 3rd and 1. Mountaineers crowd the middle. Mixon tries to get wide and does escape. Mixon down the sideline, barrels to a 1st and goal at the 5.
Here early in this game, what I'm seeing is Oklahoma in the running game is able to get to the edge. And the reason is you're seeing a lot of man-to-man on the outside, and you're playing at 3-3-5. If he can outrun that linebacker, Arndt, there's nobody left on the perimeter. Good job here early in this game from Lincoln Riley, being able to get the ball to the edge. And there's West Virginia trying to send a message again. A little push there from David Long into the face of Mixon after a 1st down. I never quite understand that.
Sooners trying to cash in the muff pump with a 1st and goal now. Mixon hesitated and will get a yard before Nobo Nwachukwu made the tackle. The senior from Texas.
He nailed that. This 3-3-5 with Tony Gibson, it is imperative that they get penetration. They've got to get to Mixon and Pirine in the backfield. If you allow these bigger backs to build up momentum, especially if you get them around the edge, it'll be a very, very long night for West Virginia to stop this offense, and especially the running game.
Pirine in the game now on 2nd and goal. Westbrook comes in motion. They hand it to him. Westbrook trying to get the edge, now retreats and skates down near the 2-yard line. It'll be 3rd and goal.
Pretty good job there by Jeffrey Mead, the receiver that was lined up to the right, doing a good job of being able to sustain his block and almost got Westbrook into the end zone. So they pound you in the middle, and they're keeping you honest, making you have to respect that edge run game. This is where Baker Mayfield, in normal conditions, his feet, his ability to create and run can always be dangerous. Now he's actually going to motion out. Nobody's out there with him. And now they move out.
It's Pirine in direct snap formation. He's got it. Big fella barreling downhill. Cannot be stopped. Touchdown, Oklahoma, as they cash in the muff pump and draw first blood.
Talk about some leg drive here. How about Benton, number 3, meets him right before the goal line. See number 3 right there? Thinks he has him stopped. There's that lower body strength in the leg drive that pushes him into the end zone. Well, that's a heck of a collision there. It gives you an idea again of the strength of Perine. He got across for the touchdown. Capitalize on that muffed punt.
Only had to go 34 yards. Took him 6 plays, all running plays. And Seibert in for the conversion. Nothing in the kicking game is going to be automatic tonight because the footing is not ideal down there. But Perine, who was hurt early against Kansas State, he missed the Texas Tech game, the Kansas game, and the Iowa State game, getting an off-field surgery. And he's now back 100% as the progressive pylon cam just confirms that he got across before touching. Appears to be pretty clear cut.
Yeah, when he's healthy, he is a handful. You know, he wasn't, as you said, early in the year, those first 3 weeks, he was 70–80%.
That's a high snap, and Connor McGinnis, the holder, did a good job to get it down so that Seibert could knock it through. And the Sooners capitalize on the first mistake of this game, up 7-0.
ESPN, home of the New Year's Six and the college football playoff.
Well, the crowd was so charged up at the beginning here. A little quieter now as the Mountaineers muff that punt, and Oklahoma takes it 34 yards. Perine direct snap touchdown run. And we'll see Skylar Howard and the Mountaineers offense go to work for the first time. Low kick bounces through the end zone. Howard's interesting story, Kirk, comes from Fort Worth, not heavily recruited. In fact, he walked on at Stephen F. Austin and played running back there. But he wanted to give quarterback a try, so he transferred out to California, Riverside City Junior College. He was signed by West Virginia really out of necessity. They just needed a quarterback here, and he has been a pretty darn good player the last couple of years.
You really have to admire that story and the determination. You're a running back. You want to play quarterback. You finally get your chance, and Dana Holgorsen is able to find you. And in the last couple of years, he's gained a lot of valuable experience, and because of that experience, I think he's been able to process coverage and make quicker decisions this year.
Collects the snap, hands it up inside to a true freshman, Kennedy McCoy, who's part of a 3 tailback rotation. 3 good ones for the Mountaineers.
Yeah, and if you look, there's already down here in the first play. He had to carry the load last week with 25 carries with Crawford and Shell out. And here on the very first play, gets to start again and goes down.
He's a guy with Shell and Crawford both injured against Texas on a hot day. He was an excellent player in that game, but he may have landed on the ball here on the sidelines. Let's see. A 200-pounder out of North Carolina. And he's still down as the trainers have made their way across to the Oklahoma side. Oh, he took a knee to the face as well, didn't he?
Yeah.
Obonia Okoronkwo, your favorite guy, outside linebacker, make the tackle. You can call him Obo if you want.
I'm going to call him Obo tonight.
Do. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, well, they attend to Kennedy McCoy, and we'll take a break.
Saturday Night Football presented by Walmart. Black Friday is back at Walmart. Shop Walmart.com all day Thanksgiving. In part by Chick-fil-A. We didn't invent the chicken, just the chicken sandwich. And Nissan, premier partner of the Heisman Trophy.
McCoy had his first 2 career touchdowns last week in Austin. Appeared to be favoring that shoulder or collarbone area as he's helped by the athletic trainers to the locker room. An injury in the very first offensive play for the Mountaineers. Not a very good start for the home team here. They do have depth at that running back position. We'll see Russell Shell, the senior, and the junior Justin Crawford, a talented, versatile running back. 2nd and 5. And Howard looks near side. High throw, hard hit, incomplete. DeKeel Shorts The slot receiver was hammered by Stephen Parker, incomplete.
Great reaction by Parker there, and that ball was thrown a long way from the left hash all the way over to this boundary. Pretty good effort there by Shorts to go up and make the play. But this Oklahoma secondary has been challenged all week by Mike Stoops, the defensive coordinator, and Bob Stoops to make plays on the ball.
Howard steps up, delivers from the pocket, almost intercepted. Had a chance to make a play right there, and that's Jordan Evans, the leader of this defense. The senior backer had it right in his hands.
Boy, watch him do a great job of reading the eyes. Completely sits right where he needs to be. The quarterback led him there. I talked in the open about what a good job Howard does at looking off defenders and coming back to a receiver. Early in this game with the pressure from that OU pass rush, that time he stared down his intended target and moved Evans right into his throwing lane.
Had a pick six earlier this year, had a couple interceptions against Baylor, top tackler on this team. So Billy Kinney, the West Virginia native, punts it deep, and that's Westbrook playing it safe, making the fair catch back inside the 25. Tomorrow, 10 a.m. over on ESPN, NFL Insiders with all the news, all the stuff you need for your fantasy team. At 11, Sunday NFL Countdown right up to kickoff. Then on Monday Night Football, the Texans and their Raiders from Mexico City. High altitude there, Azteca Stadium, 6 o'clock. Monday Night Countdown, 8:15 for kickoff. Also on the Watch ESPN app. So the Sooners, after great field position, cashed in for a touchdown, starting their second possession back at the 23. Mixon and Pirine both in the backfield, and Pirine's got it. And a short gain there, tackled by David Long.
Oklahoma in that first couple drives, they've been running the football, doing a good job of controlling the line of scrimmage. And it's been a combination of Pirine and Joe Mixon. Well, the thing is, not only controlling the line of scrimmage, getting to the edge, using the speed of those receivers to outrun their linebackers and take advantage of the man-to-man coverage on the perimeter from the West Virginia secondary. Remember that their touchdown drive after the turnover, 6 plays, all runs.
Got 2 future NFL backs flanking Mayfield, who has a long time to throw, and finally looks on the sideline, and it's out of the hands of Mark Andrews, who was well covered. The tight end, an excellent target for Mayfield, but the pitch and catch has been a challenge so far, Kirk.
Yeah, and it's going to be. I mean, these are very, very challenging conditions for the quarterback to be able to handle the football, and especially for the receivers, and that ball is coming at him. It's feeling, it's not the greatest feeling in the world trying to catch a tight spiral of a ball thrown from Baker Mayfield right now.
Quarterbacks combined 0 for 5 in the early going as the Mountaineers make wholesale changes here on 3rd and 8. Mixon out there in the slot, empty backfield for Mayfield. And the Mountaineers bring some pressure, gets it out quickly, complete, look out, Westbrook can fly, escapes, D.D. Westbrook does not lose foot races, touchdown, Oklahoma. 75 yards. And all that aggression we've talked about, Kirk, sometimes you pay the price.
Well, the passing game has not been working for Baker Mayfield, so Lincoln Riley draws up just a quick screen, an easy throw, an easy catch to his favorite target, and Westbrook has some linemen downfield, but Westbrook actually showing some toughness there, running through a potential tackle from the linebacker there. Justin Arndt just ran away from him.
Mountaineers pretty good at not giving up big plays, running and passing this year, but that 75-yard play has put them in a 2-touchdown hole.
Yeah, the pressure is going to come from over here, but you're going to see Oklahoma do a good job of getting their linemen out. They're not worried about that pressure because the ball is going to get out so quickly. And once the ball gets out, you've got a lineman downfield, the big tight end, Mark Andrews also. But that's the thing that's impressive to me. We're used to seeing Westbrook go by people with double moves and just strictly the vertical passing game. But this time, he makes a catch. He's trying to just get the first down. But right there, stiff arm, and then to be able to just throw the linebacker down.
Yeah.
And then take it all. Of course, he has the speed to take it to the house.
Mayfield, that's one of his more restrained reactions to a touchdown pass. But Westbrook with his 15th touchdown, now it gets going. That's what we're used to seeing.
Yeah, there he is.
Yeah.
I don't think he can believe that he just saw D.D. Westbrook throw a middle linebacker down. He was in awe.
His 15th touchdown reception of the season ties a single-season school record. he was the complimentary receiver a year ago to Sterling Shepard, who was the main guy, but he has emerged now. You got guys like Ryan Broyles, the ex-Sooner, saying that now Westbrook belongs among the greats to ever play the position here based on his 2-month run. There's a kick taken by Shelton Gibson. He's the big play receiver for the Mountaineers. Spins free to stay alive. It'll be corralled across the 20-yard line. And this is a tough thing for on offense, Kirk, that's lacked some big play punch to be down 2 scores now.
Well, the challenge right now for Dana Holgorsen is going to be patience. I mean, to get his team to be very, very calm with this. This is not obviously the way they envisioned starting this game here in Morgantown with this much hype around the game and talking about the biggest home game in 23 years. Next thing you know, we're not even 6 minutes into this game and you're down 14. Just remain calm. You don't need those big plays right now. You need to execute and try to go back to what you came in with that you thought would be effective.
Feed Justin Crawford, New College transfer, a terrific story of hard work and perseverance and muscles for 9 yards.
Yeah, he had an ankle and has missed some time. Didn't play at all last week against Texas, but probably their most talented, most gifted back. Can make you miss.
Spins free, shows some strength, gets a first down. We saw that he went to Northwest Mississippi Community College. He came here to Morgantown, worked at Taco Bell this summer, came up here with his wife and his 2 young sons, and got to feed the family. So before camp, he was working at Taco Bell, and he kind of symbolizes dedication. Howard now on play action has a whole lot of time. Nobody open, rolls out and just fires it along the sidelines. It's complete. A short gain, 2 shorts.
Dana Holgorsen's reaction to being down 14 is he's going tempo. I mean, they have turned up to another gear, trying to get his team not to worry about having to think about execution. Just let's try to go a little bit faster. Now they slow things down here after these first 3 plays where they kind of had Oklahoma a bit on their heels.
That'll get Howard settled in, perhaps his first completion of the game. He got 5 yards. And now a flag.
Right guard moved.
A false start by number 62 of the offense. It's a 5-yard penalty, and it's still 2nd down.
It's Kyle Bosch, the only non-Ohioan on this starting offensive line for the Mountaineers. Speaking of Ohio, Buckeyes and the Wolverines, we'll talk more about that game next week. And there he is, 62, Bosch. Transfer here from Michigan, by the way. Howard, he's got good mobility, scampers around, and now just fires it way over the Sooner bench. He had some room to keep running there. Let's go to Cassidy Hubbard for an update.
Thanks, Chris. Thanks, Herbie. Dr. Pepper Championship Drive update. Number 6, Washington hosting Arizona State. Jake Browning to Chico McClatcher, who takes off for the 75-yard touchdown. Washington right now up 10-0 despite 2 picks for Browning early on. Chris, Herbie, back to you.
That is not the story of the day, however, in the Pac-12. Howard on 3rd and 10, pump fakes, now fires over the head of Shorts, who was just well covered there by Stephen Parker.
It's amazing to watch the job that Mike Stoops has done with this defense. This defense has probably been hit as hard with injuries as anybody in the country. And here early in this game, he is simply having confidence in his group up front to be able to get pressure. But he is dropping 7 back. He's got 2 or 3 guys, depending on the play, back deep. And he's got 4 guys underneath in coverage. He's taking away all the options. And that's why Howard has nobody to throw the football to.
So Kinney is on to punt. Oklahoma defense that has been thrown on, run on, scored on, at times embarrassed and humiliated this year. Fair catch. Gave up 854 yards to Texas Tech. That's right.
734 passing.
In a win, by the way.
Yeah, they won the game.
Oklahoma comes barreling out of the gates. They cash in a muff punt for a short touchdown drive run by Pirine, and then D.D. Westbrook takes off on a 75-yard long gallop after a short pass. Oklahoma defense looking stout early on in midway first quarter. Sooners get the ball back up 14-0. And the crowd is completely out of it. They were booing West Virginia the last series. Westbrook in motion. They fake it to him. Here goes Joe Mixon. It's maybe his turn to get involved now. He gets 10, and the Sooners in charge up front right now.
I've always felt in this 3-3-5, because it's a bit risky and aggressive, you're either going to get a lot of tackles for a loss or you're going to get creased. And early in this game, they're getting creased. The offensive line is just dominating the line of scrimmage.
And you're getting creased again. It's a defense, Kirk, that played more than 100 snaps a week ago against Texas and the Heat in Austin. Some of these guys, individual defensive linemen, played 90 snaps. You had a linebacker play 102 snaps. And they maintained that the practices were good. They were fresh. It'd be no holdover effect. But you wonder if the Sooners keep pounding away.
Well, yeah. After, you know, and by the way, they played well in those 100 snaps.
Yeah.
Won the game. But, you know, getting down 14, and depending on what happens in this drive, it can affect the mindset of an entire defense, especially in these conditions.
Perine bounces for a short gain there. Mountaineers in desperate need of a stop. The way their offense has struggled so far.
And I think what you'll see Tony Gibson try to get his linebackers to do, even though, again, you know they're going to get physical, you know they're going to run the ball, is the defensive line, they're trying to hold up those linemen. The linebackers have got to get downhill and attack the line of scrimmage maybe a little bit faster than they normally would, because the goal here is to get the Perine and Mixon before they build up momentum.
Mayfield rolling out on second down, sets his feet, fires over the middle, and wide open is Westbrook. He'd leave him alone, and Westbrook still bouncing around. Again, Kirk showing the toughness to go with that world-class speed. Moves it to the 35.
Well-designed play. You're running the ball, you boot away. Nobody's even thinking about D.D. Westbrook. Clearly way back on the backside. Look how soft the coverage is there from Douglas. And there he is fighting again for more yards.
2 catches, 100 yards. They're trying to rip his head off there after the catch. Westbrook is pumped up playing the Mountaineers. He wears number 11 to honor Tavon Austin, of course, the former Mountaineer great who had a monster game against Oklahoma. Remember that game in 2012, was it? Yeah. Bouncing free again is Mixon.
They're pulling these guards and tackles and just pushing people around. Great patience by Joe Mixon, letting the big fellas get around. Ben Powers, Orlando Brown. They come around. Orlando Brown, 7'8", 6'8", 340 pounds. Pulling around. It takes him a while to get around, but it's very effective once he gets there at 340 pounds. Big fella takes a little time to get around the corner.
But you don't want to meet him when he does, do you?
No.
Mixon again, lowers the head, and they move the sticks one more time. Here's that Sooner offensive line. You got a couple sophomores and a freshman up there.
I think, again, this is the area probably that they've improved the most from where they were against Houston and Ohio State to where they are now. They're more physical. They've had some injuries that they've had to overcome early in the year. Cody Ford, who got hurt against Ohio State, was the right guard. That forced Samia down inside into the right guard spot and opened up Bobby Evans. So they've had to maneuver some people around, but as you can see tonight, continuity is there.
Around the center is the only senior. Mixon again breaks a tackle, barrels into the secondary, twists down to the 5, and the Sooners are threatened to blow this wide open now.
This looks like a sieve right now with what Oklahoma's doing to this West Virginia. Watch the offensive line. Great block by the fullback, Flowers. That's actually what opened it up there for him. But every time it seems like Perine and Mixon get the football, they're at the second level, running downhill. It's hard to stop good backs when you're giving them that kind of freedom there at the line of scrimmage.
And Mixon is over 1,000 yards for the season now. Barrels ahead for a short gain. Already Mixon has carried it 79 yards in 10 carries.
Much better job that time by the linebackers. Defensive line actually a stalemate, not getting pushed off the ball, and consequently they hold Mixon to a very short gain. Much better job at the point of attack.
Total yards are 200 to 24. High snap. Mayfield pulls it down, keeps it, throws in the end zone. Touchdown. Wide open is Jeffrey Mead.
So you're running the counter, you're going to pull the counter, you're going to run the football this way, right? Well, that's what the defense thinks. What a time for this. Look at the defense flying over here, and all you're going to do is come to the backside right there for an easy touchdown. That just sets up perfectly off the play action look. The counter, the inside zone, and then the counter play action with the exact same look, pulling the guard and the tackle. Linebackers fire in, open hole in the backside for an easy throw for Baker Mayfield.
Only the 6th catch of the season for Meade, but his 3rd touchdown. He's a 6'5" guy, tall, long arms, skinny guy. They got a big, tall receiving core this year for Mayfield to throw to. They got a powerful running game. They got an offensive line that's dominating. We got a defense that's pitching a shutout. And they got a 21-0 lead in Morgantown on a snowy evening. Well, the Sooners got a little feisty pregame. The Mountaineers charged down the field and challenged them, trying to back them off their logo. There's a little scuffle, Kirk. Oklahoma came back out highly motivated, and this has been a beatdown in the early going.
Yeah, I think the message so far is you probably don't want to challenge the manhood of the Oklahoma Sooners, because they come out swinging when you challenge them.
It's about time for the Mountaineers to try to land a punch.
Yeah, it is.
Shelton Gibson is knocked down hard. He was separated from the ball, which went out of the bounds there. Big hit by Doucette. Same out.
Yeah, guys, West Virginia coaches told us, as you know, this week that Tyler Orlovsky was really the coach on the field, but he's having to be the coach on the sideline, too. This was a dejected sideline. Not a word for a long stretch there, even before the touchdown. He started getting in everybody's face, saying things that I can't repeat on TV, but he's looking for a little motivation out of his team right now and questioning whether or not they care, which is never good in the first quarter.
Report, Sam, Mrs. Crawford. Orlovsky is a pure Cleveland guy, a senior. Like a lot of centers, he's a smart football player, but also a colorful guy. He's an important guy to try to settle the quarterback down, because Howard can get kind of keyed up, and he's likely to be somewhat rattled at this point, like a lot of guys out there.
Tyler's played a lot of football, 4-year starters, been around.
Going to the running game with limited success. It'll set up an important 3rd down to try to stop the bleeding here if they can.
Again, I think for people that have not seen Oklahoma play, I mean, it's been a revolving door for this defensive line. They have had so many injuries, and most recently they've lost some players. Charles Walker's decided to quit. Matt Diamond is no longer playing on this team. Matt Romar, who's a good defensive lineman, hasn't been here. I mean, they've been playing a lot of guys that would be typically backup defensive linemen, and they're playing pretty well so far.
Howard from the pocket takes a downfield shot on 3rd down, and it's incomplete over the outstretched hands there of Shelton Gibson. And a few more boos from the home crowd, and another punt coming up.
Yeah, and actually that's what's been the Achilles heel for Oklahoma, playing the ball in coverage. And just watching Jordan Thomas that time, he actually lost the ball. He had no idea where the ball was. I'm surprised that Dana Holgorsen early in this game has not decided to try to attack the weakness of Oklahoma, which is playing the football in coverage, especially on balls thrown downfield.
Kinney, who went to high school just a few miles from the campus here in Morgantown, wants it to Westbrook, who makes a fair catch at the 30-yard line. Absolute total dominance. Mountaineers have run 11 plays and gained 29 yards. Sooners averaging more than 9 yards per play.
And now that we're in the middle, the latter part of November, and the playoff rankings are always a big topic, and of course teams are talking about trying to win a conference championship. This is about exactly what Bob Stoops in Oklahoma wanted to see, and exactly what Dana Holgorsen did not want to see. Because if this holds up, Oklahoma not only winning a game against a team that's ranked in the top 15, but also you talk about style points, going on the road and winning like a game like this.
And giving the impression you're playing great football at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Pirine cuts it back. for a big guy who can hammer you. He's got kind of nimble feet, doesn't he?
He really does. I mean, that's the thing that I've always felt about him these last 3 years, starting with the game he had here as a freshman when he went over 200 yards against the Mountaineer defense. How big he is when you see him down in the field, especially. He is a thick guy, but his lateral quickness and how athletic he is and how he's able to get through with the vision that he has through those holes, it's impressive.
Ryan running right, hanging off folks, is knocked down, and the Mountaineers a chance to try to get off the field here. The Sooners will need 4 on this 3rd down.
The whole goal tonight of West Virginia is to make Ryan run sideways and then chase him down with their speed. Because of his size at 235 pounds against an undersized defense, they didn't want to see a lot of him with his shoulders squared running downhill. And through this first quarter, whether it's been Mixon or Ryan, that's exactly what we've seen.
And Mixon is in now in this 3rd down play. Westbrook motions around to the slot. That's an unusual position for him. The left of the quarterback. Mayfield looking the other direction, dancing around. Escapes, and he can do this. He stepped out of bounds, looked like just short of the marker. He's got good escapability. He can be a dangerous runner. Stoops incredulous about the spot.
Well, they're going to take obviously another look at that. I think they're frustrated obviously whether he stepped out of bounds. I thought he was in the air when he went out of bounds. I think he was in the air. I don't think he stepped out of bounds. I think he was airborne. Take a look at this, and you're right. This is what you know about Baker Mayfield. He's doing a better job from the pocket, but he still can scramble and make plays. And we'll get probably another look on the side to be able to see his foot. I don't think he stepped out of bounds. No, he's in bounds. He's airborne.
So it's where the ball is. He put the ball in his right hand. It's tough to tell from that angle where it was compared to the marker. Now we'll get a good look.
Well, they marked it like they thought he was out of bounds, but it is about the ball.
He hasn't landed yet. Let's see. Still in the air, and down now. Dave Katias, our rules expert. Have you seen a look yet, Dave, that would indicate where the ball should be spotted?
To me, this is a first down because of exactly what Herbie and you said. He doesn't touch out of bounds, and when he does touch, it's when it crosses the sideline. All right, and right now, they're going to have to look and see where the ball crosses the sideline. All right, he's still in. He's not out yet. All right, they've got to look at where it crosses the sideline. To me, it looks like he's got a first down.
Is he in bounds theoretically until his left hand touched?
Theoretically, he's in bounds, but then when he goes out of bounds, it's where the ball crosses the sideline.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands. It's 4th down.
Well, evidently, Richard Jordan, the replay official for this Big 12 crew, didn't see enough. Bob Stoops begs to differ. And the Sooners are about a yard short.
I thought it was a first down. I thought the ball, I guess you didn't have a great view to be able to 100% be able to confirm that the ball got across the mark.
It is where it crosses the sideline,
right?
Not where he hits.
Right.
Okay.
It was hard to see that.
Hard to see.
Yeah. So
West Virginia gets a stop.
They do. Seibert on to punt for the first time. Very, very good punter, as well as handling the place-kicking duties. Rarely gives up a big return. He's got a whole lot of fair catches among his 35 punts, 22 of them. Jennings keeping his job as the punt returner despite the muff that set up Oklahoma's first touchdown back at his 25. The snow has stopped. The field conditions certainly have improved. Still pretty frosty out there, and the crowd feeling a lot colder than they did about a half hour ago as the first quarter expires. A first quarter that
Bob
was
Stoops being frosty, or the conditions being frosty.
Oklahoma a dominant 21-0 first quarter. Back with more from Morgantown after this message and a word from your local ABC station.
West Virginia.
We are back, ready for the second quarter on ESPN Saturday Night Football on ABC, presented by Walmart. Mountaineers only given up 3 first quarter touchdowns all year. They give up 3 in the first quarter tonight, finally forced an Oklahoma punt as Seibert gets it away. A low kick bouncing around, and this time Jennings wisely just lets it go, but it will bounce dead inside of the 15-yard line. Next Saturday, to get you set for the Buckeyes and the Wolverines in Columbus, College Game Day will go on the air at 7 a.m. 5 hours. Or is it 7 p.m. Friday, Kirk? Which is it? Is it?
I think it's 7 a.m.
7 a.m.
Yeah.
5 hour. 5 hour.
You're going to come over for that 5 hour marathon?
I'll be ready to join you right here in the booth at noon Eastern time for the collision between the Wolverines, who escaped another loss today. They struggled for a long time against Indiana, pulled it out before the blizzard arrived. And here West Virginia finally makes a big play as Crawford gets loose and bolts across the 40, and you see the talent of this young running back.
Watch the center. Orlowski does a nice job. Nice block also by Bosch, and then there's the shake and bake there from Crawford. It makes a couple of people miss.
Crawford again gets the corner, slips a tackle. Justin Crawford, trying to get the Mountaineers a foothold in this game, is down near the 20-yard line, and suddenly in 2 plays, guys in blue have some life.
Yeah, it's almost the same play, but the other way. Knight picked up a nice block by a receiver, but makes another linebacker miss at that second level. This is what the coaches are talking about with Crawford and what makes him different from the other 2 backs they have.
26 and then 39 yards, and now Howard, a first down throw, or at least attempted one, fires it down and behind his receiver. It's incomplete. And it was Javon Durant, one of the slot receivers. So a first down throw after those 2 big runs.
Yeah, and it continues to be tempo. Remember, we saw that the last time they had the ball. I think, again, it's a good move by Dana Holgorsen. It's something that Howard is very comfortable with. This offense is comfortable with. Tough part is trying to execute in these temperatures.
On second down, 5 receivers, 4 to the left. Howard throws it back to the right, complete on a slant, and Karan White has a first down.
Going there against a true freshman. Thought they might try to attack him a little bit more tonight. That's Jordan Parker. Nice throw that time. Made it very easy for White to make the play.
And now Crawford barrels ahead, loses the ball, and the Sooners fall on it. Just when West Virginia looked like they were getting back in the game, the ball was stripped by Jordan Evans, and a second West Virginia turnover. There's still a scrum down there. They battle for the ball. And Jordan, looked like Oklahoma fell on it.
Jordan Parker, the freshman we were just talking about, the corner, looked like he got on top of the football, and he in fact comes up with it. But you're right, Chris, it was Jordan Evans, the leader in the middle, after a pretty significant gain again from Crawford. Right there, he's tackling the football. We were talking about that today on the bus on the Big 12. You see linebackers, safeties tackling the football more often than trying to actually form tackle a ball carrier. And that time it paid off for Evans as the ball came out.
And Crawford fumbled early in the game against Texas. Similar kind of play as they kind of ripped at the ball. He got in the doghouse and didn't really play after that. So now a guy, they need him to have any chance of getting back in this game, but the disappointment evident there.
He's really got to shake it, because with the injury to McCoy and Shell not quite 100%, they need him tonight, especially on that last drive. He had hit 3, really, count that last one, 3 really effective runs.
Evans continues to be just a terrific playmaker in this defense. And now Pirine, they're backed up in their goal line, but quickly moved the sticks again with a power run to the far side.
They're going on the edge again. Something they had a lot of success with in the first quarter. I mean, we've seen inside zone, and we've seen these backs get to the edge along with the counter play, and that's really what they've done to run the football. There's nobody setting the edge to this defense, and it's making it pretty easy for Pirine and Mixon to get outside and get wide.
Pirine again, this time into heavy traffic, still breaks a tackle and gets about 4.
That time a much better job there. I think David Long, who's the outside linebacker, Tony Gibson telling us this week, just kind of a freakish athlete, and a Cincinnati, Ohio freshman. He's on one side and Kaiser White on the other. These are the outside linebackers in this 3-3-5. They have got to get upfield and do a good job of forcing action back inside. They cannot get caught up in traffic.
Hand off to Pirine, who barrels for a gain that'll set up a 3rd and 2. Long, whose dad David was a professional boxer. Again, there in the tackle.
Oklahoma so far tonight 3 of 5 on third downs. And the odds are obviously in your favor when you're sitting there at 3rd and 2 and 3rd and 4 most of the night.
Mayfield flips it to Pirine, who's got some space, and he's got a first down. A flag comes in. That was in the offensive line pit. Harper and Maurice Fleming forced him out, but this may come back. Oklahoma until this moment not yet penalized tonight.
A personal foul, a leg whip by number 78 of the offense. It's a 15-yard penalty and replay third down.
It's a big leg. That's Orlando Brown.
Is half the distance to the goal.
So we'll wipe out that first down pass.
Yeah, you always hate as a head coach to see a leg whip or a call like this when it had nothing to do with the play. Orlando Brown, the left tackle, he's up here. He's actually going to get the linebacker Arndt after Arndt starts to run to the ball. I guess that's a leg whip.
Moves the ball back to the 12. Sets up a 3rd and long now. They need about 15. And they hand it to Pirine again. Who gets ahead of steam, but is knocked down well short. And West Virginia does force a punt long again on the tackle.
Pirine looks like he's hurt. He's kind of yelling there. Looks like he may be in some pain. You and I had the Baylor game last year, and he had some injuries. He thought he might be done, and he just kind of kept coming back. He took a big hit here. After picking up a few yards, they came in. It might have been David Long. I think, in fact, it was 11 came in and really hit him pretty good.
Jeremy Tyler is a very aggressive run-stop safety. Delivered the blow, and the punter is knocked down. It's muffed again at midfield, and collecting is Jennings, but they definitely ran into Seibert back there. Now let's see if it's a 5 or a 15-yarder. Marvin Gross was rushing the punter. Here's Cooper Castleberry.
A personal foul, roughing the kicker by number 18 of the defense. It's a 15-yard penalty and an automatic first down.
And so the severe variety will put the Oklahoma offense back on the field. Seibert is congratulated.
Here he comes from way from the outside, trying to make a play, trying to make something happen. Nobody touches him.
Sold it good, but that is a personal foul.
Yeah, he ran into him, obviously, with a lot of speed. And that's why they called the personal foul.
As the mistakes continue to mount.
Say that West Virginia's defense, after the turnover, they were able to get the ball back to Skylar Howard, and then they end up roughing the punter to give Baker Mayfield and this Sooner offense another opportunity here.
Mixon bounces, breaks it free, spins into West Virginia territory, and is hauled down at the 45. You hold your breath when he's got the football.
Yeah, they're going to run a counter. The center's going to pull. Flowers is going to come around. They've given him a lot of different looks. But what you got to love is there's nothing there. He's able to look here, and then he bounces there. That's something that, again, these backs have tremendous quickness, but it's the vision and the patience that make them so special.
Take it to Mixon. Mayfield flips it far side, and the catch is made by Meade, who had the touchdown catch. Now a flag comes in on the sideline where he's knocked out of bounds, and it's going to be another mental mistake on this defense.
Well, they've had a fumble. They've had roughing a punter. They've muffed a punt return. Now a late hit here.
That was Maurice Fleming.
After the play, a personal foul. A late hit out of bounds by number 24 of the defense. It's a 15-yard penalty.
Add up those miscues, Chris. Started really with the muff punt, but they've had 4 or 5 plays that really have cost them. I mean, they were ready to get the ball back in the blink of an eye. After a few plays and a penalty, they're inside the red zone. They're inside the 20-yard line now.
Yeah, Crawford's fumble forced by Evans really seemed to take whatever fight the Mountaineers had left. This feels like a knockout punch here if the Sooners can get in the end zone. Mixon again breaks a tackle. Joe Mixon barrels down to the 5-yard line. Samantha?
Yeah, Chris, what you guys were just talking about is what had these defensive coaches at West Virginia so upset during that last drive. They were yelling at their guys saying, we can still be in this, but it's mental at this point. You have too much emotion. You were too hyped up. We saw that in pregame, and you're not handling it well. They tried to tell him, if you can just settle down and play smart, it's going to help you, and they're still struggling with that now.
Good point. Mental and also very physical. And Mixon just walks into the end zone standing up. And the Sooners lowering the boom in Morgantown tonight. With a big assist from that West Virginia defense and special teams. 2 personal fouls.
The lateral quickness and the vision has been on display here, and great blocking up front by that offensive line and by the fullback, Dimitri Flowers. Boy, what a 1-2 punch with Mixon and Pirine tonight.
96-yard, 8-play touchdown drive.
Mixon already has 116 yards.
Yep, 9 yards a carry. Seibert knocks it through. And there's the fumble. Jordan Everett ripping it out of the hand. And the Mountaineers had finally gotten into scoring position. Crawford coughs it up. And then this, when it looked like the Mountaineers were going to get the ball back, they run into Seibert. Another personal foul, late hit, sets up Mixon, who just waltzes in. Getting ugly tonight in West Virginia. Four different Oklahoma players have scored touchdowns, and some soul searching going on at that Mountaineer sideline. Mixon joining the party. Pirine, Westbrook, Meade have scored earlier. 96-yard drive after a fumble recovery that will really test the resolve of the home team. As we check in with Cassidy Hubbard.
Thanks, Chris. Taco Bell studio update. Nick Saban said he was embarrassed at halftime by his team's performance. Alabama up 14-3 over Chattanooga in the third until Damian Harris takes off for the 25-yard TD run. Tied up 21-3 now over on ESPN2. Chris, Herbie, back to you.
Cassidy, it's an annual ritual. The Tide get their virtual bye, kind of the late season game against nobody to rest it. And Nick Saban is outraged at how they don't play hard. And
absolutely. Who do we play next week? I've never seen such a poor performance.
I'm embarrassed. Howard, gutty little runner, keeps it, gets hit hard, but he gets a first down after a 12-yard gain there.
At this point, Howard's going to have to obviously not only make plays throwing the football, he's averaging close to 10 carries a game, has an ability to obviously run football.
Hands it off that time, and Crawford spinning free, knocked down. Yeah, Howard, he's gained 406, not netted, but before the sack, so 406 yards rushing out of the quarterback this year.
Keep in mind, Chris, we talked earlier about Oklahoma's pass defense. I mean, they're 121st in the country in pass defense. I mean, they're close to 300 yards per game, playing in that explosive Big 12 with their offensive score so often. But this has been an uphill battle. So if you're West Virginia, you're thinking, guys, come on, let's try to put something together. The last drive they did, they just turned the ball over.
Howard looking downfield for Gibson, no chance to make a play, going out of bounds and well covered by Jordan Thomas. A defense, Kirk, that's had, as a flag is down, a whole bunch of trouble tackling in space, and not a typical Oklahoma secondary at all.
A chop block by number 25 and 53 of the offense. It's a 15-yard penalty and replay first down.
And they got Crawford and Colton McKivitz, the tackle on the chop block.
Anytime a lineman's already engaged, you see him right here. Once he's engaged, watch the back in the backfield go submarine him. And when a left tackle's engaged with the defensive lineman, you cannot initiate more contact from the back. That's a great call by the officials, an easy call right in front of him. And it costs West Virginia another 15 yards.
First and 25, not what this offense needs. Crawford breaks free and shows a burst and is still running. Crawford into Oklahoma territory. Will be run down inside the 10. Boy, Okoronkwo, the man that he just chop blocked a second ago, but the Mountaineers threatening finally.
Well, the defense fast flowing, and it allows Crawford to kind of sense that, cut back, and Beal, the linebacker who had his eyes locked on him, just could not react quickly enough.
pitch it on the edge and knocked out of bounds as Jennings short of the goal line. A 61-yard run, Kirk, and Crawford is in an eventful first half has already rushed for 162 in this game.
That last run, it really gave you a feel for how quick he can be and some of the problems that you and I have been talking about with the Sooners tackling out in space. And again, he's a talented back, but you know, Mike Stoops has emphasized this week gang tackling, running to the football with 11 helmets, 11 hats.
They got 2 fullbacks in the game. And Crawford running behind them runs into heavy traffic and gets nothing there. And it's Jordan Evans, who forced the fumble by Crawford earlier, makes the stop.
And they bring in that goal line package, which frees up the linebackers. Hard for this offensive line to climb up to the second level. And Jordan Evans, who's kind of the anchor, the leader, the captain and #1 tackler on this team, he's freed up to come down and just blow up that play.
That was one of the guys that got the seniors and the leaders on defense together after that embarrassing game against Tech and demanded much more of them in practice and games as Howard fumbles the snap and Oklahoma recovers. Another miscue in scoring position. Exactly what they did not need.
They've been going shotgun, and Dana Holgerson's losing his mind. Another turnover inside, deep inside Oklahoma territory. They've been going shotgun, right? Shotgun. All of a sudden it's third down. He gets under center. And never gets the snap for Morlowski. Ball's down. Sooners jump on top of it.
And the Dana rage flashing there as you saw it. 28-zip. Sooners get the ball back.
Saturday Night Football presented by Walmart. Brought to you by Dr. Pepper. It's a college football tradition. Pacific Life, helping generations of families achieve long-term financial security for over 145 years. And Ford, we go further so you can.
So you're saying, what do you do in Morgantown on a Friday night? Cosmic bowling. There's Jack. Where our crew went out there.
Did you go out there and throw it around?
Nah, I had a nice meal.
Yeah. I would have gone out there. With the right foot up on the follow through.
You're on hammer straight ahead. I watched a boxing fight last night here in town.
Real quick, let's go back to the snap. He's under center. Watch the center snap. Watch the hesitation. See how he stops and then ends up bringing it up? That's what affected the rhythm of the snap. But it could have been, talking to Dave Kataya, it could have been a dead ball foul, which would have completely taken away the fumble. It would have been a 5-yard penalty with a dead ball, with an illegal snap.
Instead, Holgerson, who can rage with the best of them. On back-to-back possessions, the Mountaineers have fumbled the ball inside the Sooner 5-yard line. To go with the muffed punt, which set up Oklahoma's first touchdown. A couple of personal fouls that helped along Oklahoma's last touchdown drive. Jeremy Tyler, by the way, the safety who was down, now helped to the sidelines. You made a good point, though. When an offense is predominantly shotgun snap, that was a funky formation. Looked like he was trying to get the ball quickly from the center.
He was trying to get it quick, and he was trying to roll to his right. He had a tight end that was slipping out. He had his back, Crawford, who was slipping out into the flat. He was trying to get the ball quickly and roll to his right, but the snap just never got up. And I think great job by our crew to catch that hesitation there on that snap from a veteran center, 4-year starter, Orlowski.
Now it's Pirine in the direct snap who mishandles it. That's risky for a running back there on a snowy night. He still gets it and gets the first down.
Yeah, direct snap to Pirine. Baker Mayfield's back there. You can see he's lined up just literally behind the left guard, so it's a direct snap to Pirine. I don't know if inside your own 10-yard line is where you want to try some of this, especially when just running the football has worked all night.
You're up 4 touchdowns. You're slamming it down the field, and it is short of the first down, so now Pirine will just try to pick it up and does right there. But maybe not time for Lincoln Riley to get tricky. And now a scuffle. We got frustrations. Flags coming in there. That's Machuku, the defensive end, shoving with the offensive lineman of Oklahoma, Drew Samia. Yeah.
He took his helmet off, put his hand right up into his face. Got to keep your composure. West Virginia, boy, it has been a battle the entire first half. So many mental errors.
They lost the composure in warm-up, right?
They did.
And as Sam pointed out, that is carried over in the game. They're straight ahead there.
First, he's caught up with Bobby Evans. Bobby Evans puts his hands up, and then you can see that he comes in and just rips his helmet off.
Wasn't going to be a flag until that last shove to the face.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, 97 on the defense. After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, 92 on the defense. Both penalties will be enforced. 30 yards. 2
for the price of 1.
I think he missed the number of, it was 95, who actually, Christian Brown throws an official. So it was the one we showed you already was with the player, but watch in the middle with 95. He shoves an official.
That's not a good idea. Oh, he poked him in the chest with an index finger. That's not appreciated either. So they have completely come unglued now, the Mountaineers. The ball has been moved.
You put
to
your
the
hands on an
line.
official. I thought you were thrown out of the football game.
Kind of poked him in the chest. It wasn't a real physical thing, but Pirine gets to midfield. And continued loss of composure.
The way I was always taught, if you touch an official, whether you're poking a finger or pushing him, if you put your hands on an official, that's usually it. I mean,
the flag had been thrown, says the hat in the air. That'll take care of that. He got 2 pokes in there. Christian Brown in the game for now, but on the sidelines. Boy, this is the most anticipated, most hyped home game here in years. More pushing and shoving. He's fortunate to not get another flag there on Adam Schuler, number 88. He waited a long time. This team, this program, these fans for a game like this, Kirk. It's been an absolute nightmare, really, from the opening minute or so.
Yeah, this is still, we'll see how this game finishes, but this is one of those games where it's kind of your worst nightmare for Dana Holgorsen. This is a big stage and a big opportunity to take on a team that you've never beaten in the Big 12. Try to show the Big 12 that you can play with the big boys. You're down 28, and you're coming apart at the seams. Completely undisciplined, making a lot of mistakes, losing your cool.
Sooners take a timeout. I mean, frustration is understandable, but the way they've acted out,
can't do that.
Tough to see. Well, Kirk, the polar bear. Chris Felica began the day in the snow earlier today in Kalamazoo. Now he is in wintry Morgantown with our Affleck trivia question tonight. Chris?
Yeah, that was enjoyable this morning, Chris. Thank you very much.
Come on.
Time for that Affleck trivia question. Under Bob Stoops, Oklahoma 120-1 when scoring 40 or more points. Who was the only team to beat the Sooners under Stoops when they've scored 40 points?
Pirine hammers away for a first down. We'll think on that for a second. 120-1 is a pretty good record when you hit the 40-point mark.
I'm going to go.
They beat him in a shootout.
I'm going to say a Kansas State, like an L. Roberson team or Darren Sproles team, maybe.
So you're going back a ways.
Going back a little bit, yeah.
Not a Baylor game.
Yeah. Baylor's always in play anytime they've given up 40.
Pirine breaking free. All right, Chris, what's the answer?
And we asked you, under Bob Stoops, Oklahoma 120-1 when scoring 40 or more. Who was the only team to beat the Sooners? Got to go back to that 2007 Fiesta Bowl. Boise State beat them 43-42.
Tricky.
Any shot it's 120-2 after tonight?
Not a good shot, no.
Not at this point, Bear.
We should remember that game. What a terrific, memorable game. Chris Peterson and the Broncos.
You remember the quarterback, right?
Absolutely. But all kind of the hook and ladder play. And
Jared Zabransky, right? Statue of Liberty for the two-pointer.
Pirine going to be a steady dose of 32 and 25.
I think we're going to throw out some of this. There's the Statue of Liberty. Ian Johnson.
Ian Johnson, yeah.
Around the corner. You know what he did, of course, after he scored.
The night of his life, right?
Yeah.
Throws the ball away, gets out on one knee, proposes to his girlfriend.
Well, that was a shocker that night.
Storybook night for the Broncos.
That's where Chris Peterson really started to become a household name nationally.
Ryan scoots free, big stiff arm, barrels down the sidelines. Saw Mixon well over 100, and Ryan's headed for the century mark as well.
Love to see how many yards after contact the combination of Ryan and Mixon have tonight. And they, by the way, they do this to a lot of teams. I mean, these last 7 weeks, now that Ryan is healthy, the offensive line has been able to come together. Very, very different team, in my opinion, than who they were in the first 3 weeks with the health of Ryan and Dede Westbrook and that offensive line coming together. I mean, they run through arm tackles. They can throw the ball downfield. It's a heck of a package right now that Lincoln Riley, the offensive coordinator, has.
Ryan again breaks some more tackles. He made a great point. They have now 233 rushing yards, most of them after contact.
Absolutely.
Westbrook's touchdown was after some contact. He broke free for a 75-yard reception.
Yeah, I mean, it's been remarkable. They've had some arm tackles that they've had to run through, but the offensive line doing a pretty good job of getting a pretty good push, obviously, to get them to that second level. But these two guys together, you see it in the NFL all the time, a combination of a couple backs. Checking to make sure he was down before the ball came out. It looks like they're going to stop action.
Previous play is under further review.
So you check and see, elbow down, and the ball came out after his elbow hit. Dave Kataya, would you concur with that?
I would. He's got control here. Still control, still control. Ball comes out. He controlled it till his arm hit.
Elbow hits, he's down, right?
He's
right
down.
away, right?
He's down. There's no independent ball movement that I see before that elbow hits. We need to look at that. Any independent ball movement before that elbow hits. I don't see any till it does.
Seems like the ball bounced as soon as that arm hit. I mean, it looks like he had it pretty solid.
Exactly.
Till the left arm hit.
There was a clear and immediate recovery by West Virginia, though. So if this were ruled a fumble,
after further review,
it would be
the ruling
not
on
near
the
ball.
field is confirmed.
So Oklahoma keeps the ball.
We were talking there about how Ryan and Mixon together, how it's a nice 1-2 punch, and you don't see two backs in the same backfield in the college ranks that are this physical, that are this big, 5'10", 235 pounds with Ryan, 6'1", 226 with Mixon, and both able to run between the tackles and catch the ball. I mean, they do so many things similarly. It's more of an NFL style than what you would see in the college ranks.
They'll both be there pretty soon, those running backs.
Yeah, they will.
In the pistol formation, Ryan behind Mayfield. He's got it again, and Ryan banging into the end zone, standing up, and Oklahoma builds the lead to 5 touchdowns.
Again, more yards after contact. Linebacker Benton got in there, but you'll see him run through. Watch 3. Trying to shoot a gap. He gets his right arm on him to try to slow him down, but he's trying to deal with a big fullback there in Flowers. Safety came over also with some speed, but he didn't wrap up. He just throws him off.
You said it would be a steady diet of 32. How about a 97-yard drive as the conversion is missed? 97-yard drive after the fumble. Ryan, the entire drive, Ryan, including the touchdown. The only mistakes Oklahoma's made tonight was Austin Seibert on the PAT. We're both bad golfers, so we've taken the club and hit the ground about 5 inches in front of the ball before.
Yeah.
That's kind of what he did.
Oh, yeah.
Big chunk of there. Takes a line drive.
It's coming right at you here. Check the, oh!
It's the goalpost cam. He's still 60 of 62 on the season, so no reason to panic. And Seibert to boot it away. Takes his frustration out and drives a deep kickoff through the end zone. Well, the exclusive reveal of the latest college football playoff top 25 rankings presented by PlayStation. over on ESPN, 7 Eastern on Tuesday. Also streaming live on the Watch ESPN app. #1 Alabama continues to methodically grind away against Chattanooga. Clemson taking care of Wake tonight. Ohio State today won to set up their showdown with Michigan, which struggled big time before finally putting away Indiana. So no losses in the top 4. Do you see any change in the top 4?
You know, we'll see. I think Ohio State just winning on the road. We'll see how the committee handles that. It wasn't a
unsportsmanlike conduct on number 28 of the receiving team. The penalty's half the distance to the goal. It's his first of the game.
So Elijah Wellman. Okay, they corrected it. It's not Wellman. It's number 28 in Oklahoma, Chance Sylvie.
And the Oklahoma coaches are talking to the true freshman Sylvie. Let's see here, I don't know, maybe it was after the whistle, but a little bit surprising. Had to be a late hit.
I think by reflex he said it was on West Virginia because you've had so many personal fouls on Blue tonight, but this one's on Oklahoma. So the Mountaineers from their 40 trying to get Crawford loose on the edge, and he breaks free and gets into Oklahoma territory. 2 productive drives the last 2 times they've had it, both ending in fumbles inside the 5, which the Sooners then marched back to long touchdown drives.
Crawford now, he's up to 175 yards running the football.
It won't feel very good, though.
No, I mean, Oklahoma, their issue has been this year defending the pass. And now West Virginia attacks very, very differently compared to most of the teams the Sooners defense have seen. But if you're a Sooner fan, you're sitting at home, this is a little bit different, seeing them struggle to slow down the running game. It's been really more about the pass, as I said.
Yeah, they only give up 132 rushing yards per game. Of course, it's a conference where so many high-powered passing attacks have gone after Oklahoma.
And again, in their defense, because of how that defensive line has been so banged up. I mean, they have guys learning on the fly, and the linebackers also have had a lot of youth in that area.
Howard on 3rd down steps up and delivers over the middle. It's Short who makes the catch, and Da'Keil Shorts is down inside the 25-yard line.
Going back to that tempo that they've had success with, other than turning the football over.
Just the 4th completion tonight for Howard, and now fires far side again. A short completion there, and can run White. Takes it down to the 20.
Trying to get the ball out there on the edge is Joe Mixon and Baker Mayfield. That's the thing with Oklahoma up 34-0. You're only in the 2nd quarter. You want to fight for 60 minutes.
Howard looking for the end zone, and it's caught for a touchdown by Javon Durant, who almost lost it, kind of juggled it, but held on, and the Mountaineers finally cracked the scoring column.
Durant makes the play, but that's been the Achilles heel for Oklahoma. Struggling in coverage. This time it's Stephen Parker who's beaten on the play and never locates the football, and the ball's thrown to Durant. But Parker, who's a safety, out there by himself against a pretty fleet-footed wide receiver and Durant.
Durant, the sophomore from Miami, his 2nd touchdown catch of the season. Mike Molina for the extra point. And the Mountaineers, after a very slow start offensively, actually have put together 3 consecutive long drives, only 7 points to show for it because of the turnovers.
And Parker comes over late, and he's a safety, and it's just a post corner. But watch how Parker, who's going to be isolated there one-on-one, that's not necessarily, and he can cover, but you see how he never found the football. And by the time he does see the ball, it's good concentration there actually by Durant to hold on to it. By the time he does see the ball, it's already over his head.
Good concentration. You're generous. It went through his hands, hit his knee. He was super lucky not to drop.
Hey, they got on the board. It's good concentration.
Yeah. After he let it go through the hands.
Yeah.
Spoken like a quarterback there, supportive of the receiver.
You appreciate the effort.
Well, what you don't appreciate, though, if you're a West Virginia fan, was a team that came out and, as their coaches have admitted, just did not handle the emotion of the occasion very well. All hyped up, got carried away, pushing and shoving with Oklahoma, who may have instigated it during the warm-up. But then they came out and they muffed a punt right away. Sooners scored, and they kind of lost their cool in a combination of turnovers and personal fouls and the inability to tackle Oklahoma's gifted skill players. 34-7 with minute 13 to go before halftime. The Mountaineers came in feeling very disrespected. They were down there ranked at number 14, which is behind 6 teams that have 2 losses and behind a 3-loss USC team. Oklahoma, meanwhile, Kirk, has really benefited from the chaos ahead of it in the rankings. And as you suggested, a showing like this tonight, with the committee watching, could put them back in contention.
Well, absolutely. Louisville's loss on Thursday night and some of the craziness from the previous week. And all of a sudden you think Ohio State and Michigan are both in the top 4. One of them's going to win, one of them's going to lose. Whoever loses, they're out. So now you're essentially saying, well, a team from the top 4 and number 5 are gone. Now you start to look at 6 and 7 and 8. And all of a sudden Oklahoma, even after a slow start, 1 and 2, now all of a sudden they're back into this. And Washington, who still may win the Pac-12 championship, terrible non-conference schedule. Portland State and Idaho.
We'll talk more about that. We'll have time. We'll have time to talk about the rankings,
I think
the big picture.
We might have some time.
There's a low kick, scoots along the ground, and it is fielded at the 25-yard line. This week's college football playoff rankings brought to you by Chick-fil-A. Yet another scuffle here, and a flag has yet to come out on this one as they're trying to separate the teams. Louisville, you mentioned, knocked out 11 sacks. Jackson on that Thursday night game. And so they'll fall out. We blew it was the quote from Bobby Petrino, and it's a pretty accurate quote here. But now let's check it out. Is you got 4 Big Ten teams ranked ahead of Oklahoma. So they need some chaos. They need some losses by teams like Wisconsin, Penn State, perhaps some Michigan.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, at the very least, if Oklahoma wins tonight and they win Bedlam, and they're sitting there as Big 12 champs, and with their only 2 losses against teams that are pretty darn good in Ohio State and Houston, at least there's a willingness there to play these teams in the non-conference, something that the committee likes. So they're in the discussion, even with the 2 losses, if they're able to win these last 2 games and win the Big 12.
It's Mixon now. And I say a loss by Michigan because even if Oklahoma wins out, even if Ohio State loses to Michigan, they'd be a 2-loss team with a pretty convincing road victory over Oklahoma, albeit early in the season. But it'd be tough for the committee to overlook that.
I don't think the debate would be between Ohio State and Oklahoma. I think the debate would still be more if Ohio State were to win out. I don't think it's Ohio State, Oklahoma at 4. I think it's more about Oklahoma versus a Washington, or Oklahoma versus a Big Ten champion.
Well, I'm saying that a loss by Michigan, for example, would take the Wolverines out of the equation.
Yep.
You have to see if Penn State gets through, and that flag comes in here.
Or Wisconsin.
One halftime report coming up here. Stan, Mac, Mark, I'll update you what's going on in the other night games and the highlights from today. I'm sure they have some highlights from what went on in Folsom Field this afternoon.
Yeah, I don't mean to.
Holding by number 75 of the offense. It's a 10-yard penalty, and it's still 2nd down.
And I don't mean to leave Oklahoma State out of this discussion because they should be right in the middle of this too. They're sitting there still. Think about that one loss they had on the Hail Mary to Central Michigan, a play that shouldn't have even happened. They should be sitting there at 10-1. They still have Oklahoma and Bedlam, and so the Cowboys are still hovering out there as well.
And the committee, you'd think, would take into consideration the nature of that loss?
I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, many would say they shouldn't even been close with the team on its home field.
Of course.
I mean, but
you know how games sometimes in September go.
But there was an admitted misapplication of the rules.
Yeah, the conference admitted that.
So Oklahoma rolls up 358 yards of offense. Mountaineers had 259.
I just want to say, if I'm the lead official in this game, there is so much chippiness. I'm going to go to both head coaches and basically tell them, if you have any more personal fouls, we're going to start throwing guys out of this game. Enough is enough.
Agreed. Well said. You can see a conversation right there with Mixon. 34-7 Sooners. Halftime in Morgantown. The Capital One halftime report is coming up right after these messages.
Welcome to the Capital One halftime report.
Joe Mixon and the Sooners had the ball for 22 minutes in the first half. Oklahoma looking for a 15 straight Big 12 conference win. Dana Holgerson's team with a lot to do in the second half. He's with Sam Ponder.
Coach, so much emotion in a lot of different ways in this one. How do you get your guys to just settle down and play ball?
Well, yeah, obviously, we didn't handle the conditions early. We turned the ball over a good bit. There's a lot of emotion down here. Our guys got to just relax a little bit and make sure that they just worry about playing ball. That's it.
I know you're upset with penalties for your own guys, but what was going on right there? You seem really upset with coaches.
I'm not going to get into the officiating, all that. They're doing a good job. There's a lot of emotion. I think both guys are having something to do with this.
Last thing for you, offensively, you finally got some momentum going there on that last drive. What's the key to keeping it going?
Well, we drove the field 4 times and turned it over inside the 5. So I think what we're doing right now is working. Just got to hang on to the ball.
Appreciate your time. Thanks, Coach.
Big fella barreling downhill, touchdown, Oklahoma. Look out, Westbrook can fly. And the Sooners lowering the boom. Getting ugly tonight in West Virginia. Yes, it is. Welcome back to ESPN Saturday Night Football on ABC, presented by Walmart. Well, before we even had the kickoff, we had a near scuffle, we had a blizzard, and then afterwards we had Oklahoma handling the tough conditions a whole lot better. Welcome back, Chris Fowler and Kirk Herbstreit. The Sooners, a 34-0 lead, 2 Mountaineer fumbles inside the Oklahoma 5-yard line really killed any chance of trying to get back in this thing in the first half. They did score late in the half.
It was really a combination of Oklahoma completely controlling the line of scrimmage and being able to run the football, and then West Virginia self-destructing, making a lot of mistakes, mental errors, turning the football over when they did finally have a little bit of a life, driving the ball, as you said, inside the 10-yard line a couple times. But they really came unglued. I mean, they've come unglued, and they've hurt themselves as much as Oklahoma's hurt them. Be interesting the second half to see how this plays out. 30 minutes of football here, right, sir?
Yes, indeed. Pacific Life game summary.
Well, we talked about Samaje Perine and how effective he can be, but it starts with the defense being able to get the ball back to this offense and let them do what they need to do. This is another miscue by West Virginia deep in Oklahoma territory, and then that's when Mixon and Perine got going. Perine 122 yards, Joe Mixon 116 yards. Mixon actually averaging 8 yards a carry.
Mountaineers, meanwhile, Kirk, they ran for 194. He had 259 yards of total offense, a lot of it behind that man right there, Crawford, but those 2 fumbles down inside the 5.
That's why I really think, obviously, West Virginia, you got 30 minutes of football and you're down big. You want to keep fighting and keep trying to come up and make plays and not give up. But if you're Oklahoma, with the way this year has gone defensively for you, even though you're up 34-7, if I'm Bob and Mike Stoops and the defensive staff, it's 0-0 going into this second half. Try to keep playing with an edge. Try to keep playing with an attitude and send a message to the committee about how serious and how much you've improved as a team. Don't lose your edge.
Howard one to take a shot downtown, throws it incomplete over the middle. I saw Mike Stoops in the hallway behind us here coming back to the booth for the second half. He didn't seem overly thrilled. He liked some of the things they were doing, but again, they've given up a lot of big running plays and a bunch of yards. They've taken the ball away, but not a complete defensive performance.
No. I mean, it's you can see the intensity that he has. I mean, he's not going to let up. That's just Mike, far right. He's intense. And you know, when you're up 34-7, you're not going to give up. How many often have you watched? You and I've done Nick Saban games so many times over the years.
Before the snap, Oklahoma called their first timeout of the half.
And he's usually
32nd timeout.
More violent on the sidelines, talking about Nick Saban, when they're up by 30 or 40 points. Right. You want to get out of his way. You don't want to make eye contact with him on the sideline.
Well, you know that Mike Stoops' defense, especially after that game against Texas Tech, again when they gave up 854 yards, They allowed 20 out of 25 third down conversions. You know, a lot of criticism, and there was some talk that if he wasn't the brother of the head coach, that his job would be in the line. And Bob said that's nonsense. This defense was among the top in the conference in all the categories last year. It's the same defense they played. They've lost a ton of guys. He's not going to abandon his brother or the defensive scheme because of some bad games.
No, and think about what they lost coming into this year. Stryker, Charles Tapper, Dominique Alexander, they had Frank Shannon, Zach Sanchez, Devontae Bond. I mean, those guys were 6 studs and leaders. And then they had, of course, this year, they've lost the defensive lineman. Oh, boy, to keep an eye on him here.
1 of 5 on third down. The Crawford breaks free. That will not improve Mike Stoops' moves. Crawford with a stiff arm, still running down inside the 35. And despite that deflating fumble, Crawford still running hard and having a huge night.
Well, Crawford's, again, he's been able to get into that second and third level, this Oklahoma defense. And that's the thing that's probably, when you were talking with Mike, that's the thing that's got to drive him crazy.
Now Howard looking for Gibson in the end zone, underthrown and incomplete. And his battles on the edge. That was Jordan Thomas in coverage, but that was a catchable ball.
Catchable ball, and the best corner on this team just completely lost in coverage. He was unable. Look at his head. Has no idea where the football is, and he's very fortunate that Gibson did not work his way back earlier to be able to adjust to the football and either get pass interference or come up with a catch. That's been the area that Oklahoma has really struggled, just in coverage and playing the football.
Now the pop pass here. And this is Durant coming around the corner, knocked down after about a 7-yard gain. Another third down coming up.
This is really more of who West Virginia has been this year. You know, when you get Justin Crawford running, and he's been able to run at will. I mean, he's at 219 yards, and then you get your jet sweeps going. It affects the eyes of the safeties, and you start throwing the ball downfield.
Howard backpedaling and has to throw it away. A 4th down play coming up, and you believe there'd be little hesitation for Holgorsen here.
It was a much better job of getting pressure on Howard.
Austin Roberts chasing the quarterback down.
Well, they lost Matt Diamond, Charles Walker, but they feel that with Roberts and Gallimore and Lampkin that they've got some athletes up front on that defensive line that can get pressure. Just a matter of them growing up. A lot of them are young players that haven't played a lot of football.
Howard on 4th down has a lot of time from the pocket. Picked off. Intercepted by Jordan Evans. The former high school running back got skills with the football, and he's got a clear path to the end zone. Can they catch him? No! Another pick 6 for the defensive leader for Oklahoma. 80 yards. And yet another Mountaineer miscue.
Well, watch him just read this. He reads the route first. See how he reads the route? He's looking, his eyes, all of a sudden he's got his eyes on the quarterback. The quarterback, as we saw in the first half, brought him exactly where he needed to be to make a play on the football. But that was great route recognition. Saw the back slip out to the flat, anticipated a route coming back inside towards him, had his head on a swivel, jumped the route because of the eyes of the quarterback. Great play by the senior linebacker.
He's one of the guys who said, look, you got to look in the mirror. You got to start with yourself. If you're going to improve this defense, look in the mirror. And now he's forced to fumble tonight. He's made a pick 6. He's got 3 picks in the last 2 games. That'll improve the mood of Mike Stoops upstairs. Go, 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 go. Guy in the left. Still whole what hair is left out. You're getting beat by 5 touchdowns. It's cold, it's windy, it's snowy. What are you going to do?
Why are you
snuggle?
Here?
Well, if you're going to stay, then snuggle.
Okay, but you're not even watching the game.
But they're still there, unlike most of the folks who headed for the exits here. Durant from the goal line and knocked down at the 15-yard line. So we can begin to speak about the feature game at noon Eastern time next week. First, we saw Wilton Spate in Iowa City get hit hard there in that left shoulder. It's a collarbone break. No definitive information out of Schembechler Hall. It's tough to get that about him being out for next week, but you'd expect him to be out. And again, John O'Korn, the lefty who began his career at Houston, comes in. This is what he did today against Indiana. It was tough conditions, enough to get the win, but they'll have to play a lot better to get the win in Columbus, I think. Would you agree?
Yeah, but I think they obviously will play a lot better. I mean, it's the Ohio State-Michigan game, and both teams will play their best. The emotions will be flying next Saturday in Columbus. I thought O'Korn, considering he hasn't really taken a meaningful snap since 2013 in Houston, I thought he played all right. That had a heck of a scramble that probably turned the game, the complexion of that football game, completely around.
Noon Eastern time. Game day comes on the air at 7 a.m. Eastern. So that's only 4 o'clock on the West Coast if you want to watch out there.
So if you include the 5 hours of game day and the 2 hours of game day you and I are about to do right now, that's actually 7 hours of game day that we're going to be doing for the Ohio State-Michigan game.
Look for that bonus check. Howard will keep it, breaks free, and is knocked down after a first down gain. And Karanka with a hard hit on the quarterback there. We'll see this Mountaineer offense continue to battle, in a way. Salas says that they've been productive. They've found creases in the Sooner defense.
Oh, yeah.
They made really big plays, especially Crawford.
There they go. There's a nice play. There's Neville Gallimore. It's the guy that Mike Stoops, a freshman, said that he is coming on, and he has a chance to really be a superstar up at the top. It's off the ball, does a good job of using his hands, throwing away the freshman McKivitz, makes a play in the backfield.
Canadian.
Yeah.
Big future, they say. Howard on 2nd and 11. Wants to launch it downfield. Does take a shot, but overshoots White. Brother of Kevin White. Was such a different West Virginia offense when you had Kevin White, Mario Alford. Talked about Stedman Bailey, Tavon Austin a couple years before those guys. It was bubble screen, deep shot, boom, deep shot, an occasional run.
Yep. They don't quite have, obviously, that you're talking about some dynamic talent. You can go back a little further to when they had Stedman Bailey, yep, and Tavon Austin. I mean, they've had some great receiver play over the years here. And these guys, I mean, right now White is a junior, a little bit more of a possession guy. Gibson can get vertical on you. And Shorts is more your option route guy underneath. Another nice play by that Oklahoma defensive front.
That's a loss for Crawford on 3rd down.
Shot the linebacker here.
Parker cleaned it up.
And they shot a linebacker and also the safety. Hunter does a nice job. Stephen Parker, a guy that played a lot of football a year ago, and with the loss of those 6 leaders we talked about a little earlier, he's kind of become one of the guys. Mike Stoops told us this week that Parker and Ahmad Thomas and Jordan Evans, their studs, have got to play their best football here down the stretch.
Westbrook back to receive the punt on a cold night. Not easy to kick that ball, and it's not a very good one, and it'll bounce out of bounds sideways at the 40-yard line. Oklahoma back to work.
Saturday Night Football presented by Walmart. Brought to you by Dr. Pepper. It's a college football tradition. K Jewelers. For 100 years, every kiss begins with K. And GMC. We are professional grade.
Overall jorts is a look you don't see a lot, fortunately.
Without the shirt. Also, you throw that in there.
Bucci and Anderson. Perhaps we'll have a comment on that tonight after the USC-UCLA game over on ESPN. Also on the Watch ESPN app.
All right, lad. Here we go.
Well, Oklahoma's run the ball 18 consecutive plays, so let's see if they keep that string going. It's not the kind of night that will maintain the Heisman momentum that Mayfield brought into this game. And Mixon makes it 19 straight running plays. You would expect that they'll keep doing this, Kurt, but Mayfield, on the tear that you detailed earlier, has really vaulted back into contention. And with the loss by Louisville, Lamar Jackson sacked 11 times on Thursday night, Mayfield all of a sudden has a real shot.
Absolutely. Everybody seems to have a shot. I mean, I know I vote, and I have no idea, with 2 weeks left of football to be played, I have no idea what I'm going to do with my vote.
No idea?
I mean, I've been thinking Lamar Jackson the whole time, and and he's had a great year. But I think all of a sudden you have to look and try to see if anybody else has a chance. Nobody else has even been in the discussion for me. Nobody.
Well, Deshaun Watson, you see on the page there. Watson had about 202 passing yards, ran for a couple of touchdowns as Clemson took care of business against Wake Forest. But as you pointed out, the extremely high standard that he set a year ago hasn't quite met that. Clemson's still very much in the national championship picture. But I think you're right. You're not alone. A lot of folks are going to have to contemplate that Heisman ballot.
It just hasn't been one of those years where you had a candidate other than Lamar Jackson, who had the Florida State game, that had the Heisman moment. Everybody that you're trying to state a case for, you're trying to bring up, well, Jabril Peppers, he plays 12 different positions. Very true. Very valuable. Hasn't put up any numbers. Deshaun Watson, boy, he's a great player. We know what he's capable of doing. And then there's Lamar Jackson, who's kind of separated himself with the numbers he's put up. And you wonder if people, because of an overreaction to the loss with the offensive line, I don't know if they showed up. Officially, did they show up to that game in Houston or not? But he got sacked, what was it, 10 times?
Yeah, 11.
11, my bad. Missed that last one. I don't know if people are going to say, hey, let's open it up because of that one loss, or if it's just a foregone conclusion. He's been so dominant all year.
It's Eric Wren, the senior center, the only senior of that offensive line, out of the game at the moment. This 3rd down and 5 play for the Sooners. Maybe they'll actually throw a forward pass here. We'll see.
No.
Barely a forward pass. And Mixon makes his first catch of the night. He's really effective weapon out of the backfield as a receiver, and they move the sticks.
Yeah, nice little kind of a rub or a pick by Andrews, who gets man-to-man. Linebacker trying to get out and take Mixon in coverage. Had no chance because he ran directly in to the 6'5", 250-pound tight end.
They move Jonathan Alvarez, who's a backup guard, over to the center position, filling in for Wren now. Direct snap. Mixon's turn to try to make something happen as a Wildcat quarterback, but he's dropped for a loss over there.
Surprised they, down in the red zone, they have that Wildcat package that can be effective, but they have completely pushed West Virginia's defense back on their heels with the inside zone play and the counter play and the edge play, where they're able to get out to the edge on the perimeter of the defense, literally at will. I'm surprised they continue to kind of go back to that direct snap to Mixon, a little bit slower developing play.
Now Mayfield over the middle, incomplete. Or a slant into heavy traffic, and Meade took a shot, couldn't hold on.
You touched on this earlier, and I agree with you. Last year, Oklahoma's receivers, kind of like the Smurfs. I mean, I love Sterling Shepard. I love him watching him now in the NFL, but he was undersized, and he and Westbrook both were undersized. You look at their group now with Meade at 6'5", and you have Andrews, who's at 6'5", the other freshman we've seen that's 6'2" with Smallwood. I mean, it's a different group, different set of wide receivers that they have that try to get the football to. Geno Lewis, the Penn State transfer,
exactly,
big guy.
He has not gotten a catch yet tonight, and they fake it and hand it to Mixon, who is hauled down for a short gain. Darian Howard, nose tackle there, makes the stop, and it's 4th down. So you wonder if Heisman voters will consider this just one of those games, and where Mayfield wasn't going to get involved. It was a running kind of game. They got out to an early lead and not downgrade him for that.
You see 41-7, and if you didn't see this game, you think, wow, Mayfield must have gone crazy again, and he just hasn't needed to.
No.
It's not anything that he did bad. It's just they've been able to run the football all night.
Seibert keeps it away. And it bounced around and rolled dead at about the 16-yard line. It'll huddle together in the upper deck. Curtis has brought the Allstate bus with us, and Kirk, time. This is the most anticipated street cred of the season.
It sure is. We've been doing it all year with Allstate and myself, handing out street cred on Twitter, spotlighting the best performance of the day in college football, and there they are.
Oh.
The Colorado Buffs knocking off number 22
Washington.
Washington.
Would say Colorado, huge home win.
They are legit, bro. You should be proud. Offense is playing well. The defense has been chippy all year long and did it again today for Jim Leavitt.
Crawford knocked down after
One
a
more
short
game.
gain. They covered the Wazoo receivers well. They hit hard. They tackled well.
Well coached.
They ran
They're
it. They threw it.
Sound.
And they played. Yeah, they played smart in a big emotional home game.
By the way, that was a really good offense that they went up against today. And all of a sudden, there's
could
life
be the first of two.
Yeah.
There. If they beat Utah at home next week, Colorado will win
and Washington
the South.
State wins the Apple Cup next Friday. It's a rematch
for the Rose Bowl. Huh?
Yeah. Say that again real slow.
Exactly.
Let's say that again.
Washington State and Colorado could play for a chance at the Rose Bowl, the big Rose Bowl, the one in Pasadena.
Yeah.
Those mean nothing. Those cards, by the way, they give a shout out and the Birkenstocks there and the different stuff to keep the players loose. It means nothing. It helps Skylar Howard figure out where Dana Holgorsen is standing.
I'd go with the Jennifer Garner play personally.
If it only had meant something. There's an incomplete pass. Seriously, it just helps him find.
What helps him? Looking over at Jennifer Garner.
The card overhead helps him locate Dana because he likes to. He didn't stand out there in the white. He stands back on the bench. And
I got you.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got you.
Just because there's no Herb Street play in that card, you get a little.
Yeah, that's not cool at all.
Well, it's been one of those nights. You can see Dana shaking the head. You get your team ready for this, and they come in, all hyped up. After a great week of practice, he felt they were completely ready mentally and physically for this. And it got off to a bad start, and it got ugly pretty early. AT&T inside access. This is Baker Mayfield's other talent. He might be better at Halo than he is at quarterback. Halo's kind of a shooter, futuristic, military kind of game. And he claims to be one of the best in the world at Halo, where you can make money doing this.
When you roll in with your own headphones like that with Halo, you're,
oh no, there's a lot of serious players.
You're pretty much a baller, yeah. Take that pretty serious.
He thinks he's by far the best on campus. He challenged every other.
That means he's putting in quality time with Halo then.
A lot of quality time. I think some Mark Andrews, his tight end, might be the second best on campus. But
wow,
he's got apparently enough time to master a very challenging video game as well as going to school and playing quarterback at a high level. They fake it to Mixon actually has the ball and is knocked down after a 4-yard gain.
I think Baker Mayfield has improved so much this year. He always has brought that energy going back to last year to this offense, but Lincoln Riley telling us what an emphasis they put on this year with him in the pocket, making plays from the pocket, seeing coverage. And if you compare him to last year, where he's often scrambling and creating, he still can do that, but it's a totally different feel now with him in that pocket.
He fires over their far side, and the catch is made by Geno Lewis. You mentioned him, the Penn State graduate transfer, and he moves to 6.
See, his numbers are somewhat similar. Completion percentage a little bit higher, but what doesn't show up there is, like I said, he's I think just through reps and experience, knowledge, sees coverage, more comfortable in the pocket, but still has that playmaking ability, kind of that X factor. When everybody's covered, he's going to pull it down and create.
#1 completion percentage in Oklahoma history. One of the most efficient seasons as a passer we've ever seen in the NCAA. Has a chance to break the record if he stays on pace. Mixon cannot get the edge this time. He's wrestled down right at the marker there by Maurice Fleming.
Early in the year, I thought, listening to his coaches kind of confirm this, when they were playing Houston and Ohio State, he had injuries to Pirine and Westbrook. They were still playing, but just not quite the same as they are now. And I think he sensed that he had to press. He had to try to force the issue, try to make plays. And I think from the bye week after Ohio State in the last 7 games, I think you've seen a totally different guy that trusts the players around him and is kind of letting the game come to him now as opposed to trying to force the issue.
Pirine takes off. He's got another year of eligibility left because the faculty reps in the Big 12 voted in June to give him back that year. And Lincoln Riley told us he thinks Baker's going to come back. Baker wasn't too eager to get into that question with me, but the coaches are very hopeful he'll come back and use that last year.
I would think he would come back. I mean, he's 6'1" and 210 pounds. And
not prototypical size, in other words.
No, not necessarily. They go to Columbus next year, and as young as this team is, it's another chance for the Sooners to have an outstanding football team. And why not come back for your senior year?
He could turn pro, though, and go in the Halo circuit. Because you can make serious money.
Yeah, that's a good point. Fair.
Mayfield fires over the middle into traffic. A juggled interception. Rasul Douglas with his 7th pick of the season. The rest of the team has 4 combined. A terrific play. Mayfield trying to smile that one off.
You know, he is 6'2", 208 pounds, really long arms. This time he's in great position. See the length there? Able to get around Westbrook without interfering with him. Knocked the ball in the air and then doesn't give up on it and ends up intercepting the football. As you said, his 7th of the year, just has natural ball skills and a guy that's really worked hard to get to the point where he is now, junior college guy, now than his senior year.
With the Nassau College in Long Island, and here's a guy that he battled with grades. He had to work hard just to get academically eligible here, and he told me he was ready for the matchup with Westbrook. It hasn't really materialized, as Crawford again just takes off and bolts into the open field, and Justin Crawford rumbling down one more time into the red zone. An absolutely monstrous night in defeat for Crawford, he's going to get 300 yards at this rate.
Chris, look at these linebackers just completely take themselves out of the play. You had Hunter and Beal, and it was almost like they had a blindfold on. They didn't find the ball carrier at all. It was an easy play for Crawford.
You got 45 yards. Now they pitch it to Gibson on the near side, and yes, he did fumble down inside the 5, but 274 rushing yards with a quarter and 4 minutes to play. Give it to him again, and he bolts forward down inside the 10.
What I love to see from the kid is here they are down 41-7. It's not been their night, but he's not giving up. He's out there fighting and competing. That's what you love to see. And if you're Dana Holgerson and you're on this staff and you're looking out there, not only are you trying to make sure these guys try to give you every chance to come back, obviously it's going to be pretty challenging to do that, but at the very least, who wants to compete? Who has the heart? I think you learn as much right now as if you're up in a game like this.
I think he was certainly mad at himself for giving up that fumble early on, and now on a 3rd and 1, this time they make a clean exchange and execute the sneak for the first down. So he's mad at himself for giving up that fumble, and comes back and runs with real determination.
Absolutely.
And shows why this guy could have a future playing this game.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, I love to watch guys when they're in these kind of games to see who wants to kind of continue to compete, who wants to shut it down. I think you learn a lot about a guy's character, about his competitive spirit in a game like this.
Who's a guy that, again, came here with his wife, whom he says is his inspiration, his driving force, and 2 young kids. Nice snap. Howard keeps it, and he'll score. So the Mountaineers with a 57-yard touchdown drive on the board for the 2nd time tonight.
So they take advantage of the interception by Douglas. Put 6 points up on the board.
Scored just a minute 37. Been a frustrating night for the quarterback. The Mountaineers do find the end zone on a 6-yard run. 13th career rushing touchdown for Howard. So Douglas, cornerback, a very athletic interception, and he's making a case for All-American status. You got 7 picks as a corner. You're in the conversation. Juggling catch sets up the touchdown drive. Howard takes it himself. 41-14.
Cassidy Hupperth with your studio update. Number 13 USC taking on UCLA at the Rose Bowl. First drive of the game. Mike Faithful to Jordan Lastly for the 56-yard score. Bruins on the board first. 7-0 on ESPN. Chris Hervey, back to you.
Cassidy, thank you. Big 12 country. The Sooners in control. We'll talk about the race in the Big Ten East momentarily, which will come down to 2 ball games on the final weekend. One, of course, in Columbus, where we'll be at noon Eastern time, and one in Happy Valley, where the Lions will host the Spartans. There's a high kickoff taken by one of the up men, and the Sooners run it across to the 37-yard line. So Penn State's got a 25-0 lead at the moment over Rutgers as they begin the 4th quarter in Jersey. They'll go to 7-1, and they will host Michigan State, which incredibly today lost its 7th conference game. So, Kirk, the Lions, by virtue of that head-to-head win over Ohio State, would have the tiebreak if Ohio State beats Michigan at home. If Michigan beats Ohio State, they control the destiny by the head-to-head win over Penn State.
But be careful of assuming anything always in college football. But careful of Penn State, just an assumption they'll beat Michigan State. I think it depends on if the Spartans show up and play with some energy. If they play the way they did against Ohio State today and Michigan a few weeks ago, they'll be in that football game with Penn State.
But you make a good point. After really selling out at home today and
wonder
going
how
for a
much they have
2-point
left.
conversion in the lead.
Right.
D'Antonio Gamble tried to take the lead there late in the game. The pass was intercepted on the 2-point try, and they never got close after that. So now they got to go on the road.
That's my point.
Will they shut it down?
That's my point. How much gas do they have left in the tank? Not only the loss today, but the kind of season that they have had to endure.
Right, and the way they lost.
Yeah.
Perine, stutter steps, he'll be stopped short of the marker. The interesting thing is, you know, Ohio State, Michigan kicks off 3.5 hours before that game at Penn State. So let's say Ohio State wins. They will not know whether they win the division until the result of that game in East Lansing, excuse me, in Happy Valley. But Ohio State fans, let's say they do beat Michigan, may have mixed emotions. Do you want to win the division? Do you want to go to Indy and play for a conference championship? Or do you just take your playoff bid, sitting there as a non-division winner, not have to play Wisconsin or somebody?
Yeah.
3rd and 1, and this is a tackle for loss, and that has been a real rarity as Kaiser White got in the backfield and stopped Perine, and it'll be 4th down.
But he has come so close tonight on the backside of chasing down Perine on some of these slower developing plays. And this time he got a great jump off the ball and was able to get to him, this time short of the 1st down.
That might be one of the only times we've seen an Oklahoma ball carrier stop behind the lines
tonight.
tonight.
They've been chasing him from the backside all night, and they just have been just a step or two slow, or a little bit delayed, and this time he just timed it up perfectly.
Seibert goes up high to get the snap and gets a line drive kicked away, where Jennings makes the fair catch at the 20. Are you ready? You're going to borrow some of Dana Holgerson's Red Bull there for a college game day in Columbus. A 5-hour show, 7 a.m. to noon. Will you have like a bigger desk? Is it all kind of mystery guests?
I don't know.
Have you formatted that thing out yet? No. All 5 hours? Save a little something for me, will you, at noon Eastern when we jump in the booth for this one?
Yeah, I
don't
just
think
warming
fans
up
realize.
That's fine.
Fans in the rivalry know it well. I don't know if people nationally realize how dominant Ohio State has been head-to-head. 10 of 11. 10 of 11.
Yeah, my kids have a real warped perception of that rivalry.
Howard with a downtown shot, and Gibson collects it inside the 20, still fighting for yards. And finally, West Virginia makes a downfield play, and in the final seconds of the third quarter, there's some fight.
This is kind of what I thought, again, we would see tonight, is them attacking downfield, an area that's been a problem. Watch Jordan Thomas. Again, I mean, it's happened all year. He's their best cover man, but Gibson goes by him, and his eyes get lost, and he doesn't make a play.
61-yard gain, and Crawford hammers ahead down near the 10-yard line. That'll be the final play of the third quarter. And after 3 quarters, the Mountaineers have a 62-yard edge in total yards in this game. The meaningless stats department, as Crawford is down at the end of 3. Back after this, and a word from your local ABC station.
West Virginia.
So Crawford has run for 284 yards dealing with some cramps on a cold evening. He was drinking some Gatorade there, getting stretched out. He's helped off, not in the backfield at the moment, as the Mountaineers begin the final quarter with a 2nd and 4 in scoring position. And it's a keeper without the go-to running back in there, and they lost Kennedy McCoy, remember, on the first carry of the game, so they're very thin at that position. Russell Shell we have not seen tonight. He's one of their physical backs. He's not quite healthy yet.
Nice play there by Caleb Kelly, who is a highly touted 5-star linebacker out of California.
So again, following the fullback and scoring his 2nd touchdown tonight is Skylar Howard. A little more pep in his step now as the Mountaineers begin to make this a lot more respectable.
Yeah, the linebackers here again are one of them's occupied here by the guard. He takes himself out, and there's nobody left to make a play here. Nice job of a nice cut back there by Howard again. He does enough with his feet that make you have to respect that. Hasn't had a great night throwing the football, but he's made a few plays with his feet. The 2nd touchdown of the night on the ground.
Interesting, Holgerson telling me that although Howard is a quiet guy, there's a lot churning inside, and the way that they get energy out is, he says, I'll fight with him. I'll just start arguing with him before the game, and it helps me get some energy out. I get his energy out. Somehow it works. Howard, his 2nd rushing touchdown, and West Virginia has now gained 467 yards. So Mike Stoops, they've got the lead, but he still can't be thrilled, to say the least.
ESPN, home of the New Year's Six and the college football playoff.
I'd say about 75% of West Virginia's fans bailed out, but the ones who are still here were on their feet cheering the effort of this team. They've gotten a couple of touchdowns closer after halftime here. 14-7 edge in the 2nd half for West Virginia. It's a 20-point game. More bizarre things have happened.
Oh yeah.
And the kickoff is taken by Mixon, one of the up men here. He hurdles free and is knocked down out near the 40. We talked a lot about the Buckeyes and the Wolverines next weekend. Of course, both teams were upset on the road. Penn State with that pass rush and that field goal return for a touchdown got them 24-21. And then Michigan last week beaten on a walk-off field goal in Iowa. Buckeyes surviving by 1 today in East Lansing. Wolverines in a blizzard in the 2nd half, knocking off the Hoosiers, and they will collide in the old horseshoe in the banks of the Olentangy at high noon Eastern time next week. We'll have it for you proudly. OU's gotten stale on offense lately, Kirk. Let's see if they can get the rhythm back here. It's Pirine on a reverse to Westbrook. Evades one tackler and battles trying to get near the line of scrimmage. He'll be slung down there by White. No gain.
You talked about how the crowd is reacting, the fans that are still here, to the effort by this West Virginia team, and I think you and I would agree with it. I mean, this is a team that was completely down and out and not looking good at all, and all of a sudden with a couple quick scores they're down by 20, and with the way Oklahoma's defense is playing and the way Howard's gaining some momentum, now it's really about the Mountaineer defense trying to get the ball back to Skylar Howard.
Mayfield rolls out, took a peek downfield, nobody there, and now he'll run for his life and take a big hit. Ball comes out, goes out of bounds. Again, that shot was delivered by White. Sooners lucky to avoid a turnover.
Yeah, that ball, if that ball stays in bounds, obviously it's potentially a turnover and the ball going the other way for West Virginia. He's still in bounds. White right there hits him. The ball goes up in the air and just happens to bounce out of bounds. There's nothing but Navy jerseys down there waiting to jump on top of that football. But nonetheless, you got a little bit of juice, a little energy right now from the West Virginia defense.
And the Sooners facing a 3rd and 10. White's still playing hard, that's for sure. Mayfield from the pocket flips it over the middle, and Pirine makes the catch and lost the ball. They're going to say, they're going to spot him down. They're going to spot him down back near the marker. It's going to be, I think, a little bit short. Pirine Just nearly got away for a huge gain.
Watch Walters right here try to stay with Pirine coming out of the backfield. Ball's thrown out in front. That's the little thing, but the accuracy and how important that is to get the ball out in front. But on third down, with Walters playing man, does a good job, clearly down. Right call down on the field.
Now it's a fourth down on decision.
I thought he leaned across
no,
to
they did not give him the first down where they spotted it. So it's fourth, and they need a full yard. And I think the Oklahoma offense was lobbying hard to stay out there. They wanted to go for it, and the coach just said, no, punt team.
Wow, I thought
We're going to have to hurry here. They may just, let's spend a timeout because the play clock was winding down.
They might want to look at this spot. I thought he extended himself unless his knee touched. Yeah, maybe the knee touched right there.
Well, I do think that he got a lot farther than they spotted it.
See right there, the left knee is down. He's really looks like he's at about the 47.5-yard line.
I think they
about a half yard short.
He may have slid about a half yard where he actually had the ball.
They took a delay of the game anyway here on this to set this punt up, but the West Virginia defense does their job to get it back to Howard in that offense.
Jennings is back deep, and you're right. There's some juice in the West Virginia defense, and there's actually some life for this team. Seibert gets it away. Jennings is backpedaling, and he'll make the catch on his knee at the 15-yard line. Back within 20, and they get the ball back.
Saturday Night Football presented by Walmart. Black Friday is back at Walmart. Shop Walmart.com all day Thanksgiving. In part by Dr. Pepper. It's a college football tradition. And Buick. It's Black Friday all month long at your Buick dealer.
Oklahoma's only touchdown after halftime was this pick six by Jordan Evans, who appeared to pull up a bit as he was headed to the end zone.
Yeah, he has not been back on the field since then. Clearly something bothering him is his defense, and what we've seen is Reuben Hunter in for him, and it's a totally different look for this defense against the run with Hunter in there.
Howard flips it short, juggled, held on by Durant, and gets out across the 25-yard line. He's a leader. He's obviously, when you're a middle linebacker, you make a lot of the calls, and you're an important part of the group.
Oh my gosh, I mean, he gets the calls, he gets everybody lined up. He's the alpha, he's the leader, and you take him out of there and you're taking away your playmaker.
We saw Crawford be treated for cramps in the last possession. He's back in the game and continues to churn away. Short gain there, but he's within 13 yards of a 300-yard rushing night. Howard took a peek, and now he'll just take off and slide. He did slide short of the marker about a couple of yards. It'll be third down.
Right now the Sooners are trying to keep everything in front of them. They don't want to give up an easy one, give up a big play. It's been an issue for them. See what happens here on this third down, and if they can get pressure on Howard.
Howard again takes off, and again with his legs makes a play and keeps the drive going.
What a different, it's incredible what one guy, Jordan Evans, being taken out of the lineup, and what that does to your run defense, and how you feel, and how aggressively or lack thereof you feel on the run fits. We're just not seeing the same energy from this defense without Evans out there.
White on the edge, and if you're Holgorsen, you notice that. You keep trying to run the ball, which would go against what conventional wisdom would say. We're down 20 points, we got to take shot downfield.
Yeah, I think you got to keep throwing the football and mixing in occasional run here and there just to let them know that you still have it. But this defense has just not been the same. You wonder if it's because they have the big lead, they're losing their edge, or is it because Jordan Evans is out of it. But watch these linebackers. It's almost like they have blinders on. They can't find the ball carrier. Crawford's gone by them. They're over pursuing it. They're not filling the gaps. Mike Stoops talked about gap integrity. Here's Skylar Howard just patiently waiting for the blocks. New linebacker Hunter just manhandled that time by Kyle Bosch. So Jordan Evans going out of this game has definitely had a negative impact on the Sooners defense.
Sooner defense that's been unbelievably riddled by injuries. We talked about Charles Walker's retirement from college football to get ready for the draft. Concerns about concussions. Matt Diamond's had some personal issues. He's not in there. They lost Micaiah Quick, one of their better corners, against Texas. He was out. And numerous other injuries to other reserve players. Evans is not a guy they can afford to have out. And just being helped off the field there is Okoronkwo. So, and he's been a key guy in this defense. So it continues to get thinner and thinner.
And this was kind of a young defense as far as leadership was concerned coming into this year. I mean, they lost most of their alphas and guys that were around for 2 or 3 years as starters. They lost 6 guys. So, and then the guys that have returned have been beat up, and a few of them have been removed from the team.
Howard has plenty of time, loops it downfield for Gibson, and a flag for interference. Jordan Thomas running with him, got there a little too early.
Not only early, his left hand got engaged with the shoulder pad and just kept Gibson from getting to the football. Watch his left hand come over top.
Pass interference by number 7 of the
right
defense.
There. Grabs on it. Almost looks like the side of the helmet, maybe. Right there. Comes right over the top of him. Definitely interferes. And West Virginia moving into Oklahoma territory here.
You made a good point, though. The number of big shots, the pass plays, the problems with the secondary they've had. You know, no lead is a guarantee.
No. And I was thinking when they got the ball to start this drive, I'm thinking if they can score by about the 9-minute mark, that's a pretty good goal for them. Maybe they get in even before that.
Howard again takes off. That time they're ready for it, and he's dragged down by Emmanuel Beal, the junior linebacker.
Especially with Evans down, Beal's got to make plays. He'll come from our right, just chases Howard down from behind. Rangy, athletic, actually grew up in Columbus, went to junior college route, and now making plays in his defense. And with Evans down, needs to be have more of an impact.
Top tackler tonight with 8. Howard from the pocket again, launches downfield. White's open. Touchdown, Mountaineers. This is getting real interesting now. Good look. Did he control the ball? Terrific layout. Good catch.
Definitely a catch. Great effort to lay out and make the play, and a really well-designed play for West Virginia. See, Howard has that ability. He can make that throw downfield. And we keep talking about it against this Oklahoma secondary. Keep taking your shots. That was against the true freshman, Jordan Parker.
Big brother Kevin, of course, the former Mountaineer, first-round draft pick of the Bears. No doubt looking in, proud of that play. Got 2 younger brothers. You got Karan and you got Kazir, who's the linebacker, who's been making impact plays on defense tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Watch this well-designed play, and it really opens up the post. They're going to work to the middle here, and then here's the post here behind it. Watch how this opens up. The inside receiver, Shorts, takes the safety with him, opens up the middle of the field. He lays it out and away from the freshman Parker, where only White can extend to make the play and a touchdown.
After halftime, here are the Oklahoma possessions. Punt, interception, punt, punt. Their only points came on that Jordan Evans pick 6. The Mountaineers, meanwhile, have scored touchdowns in the last 3 possessions. And Kirk, with about 18 minutes of football left, it was 41-7. With about 10 minutes to play now, it's a 13-point game.
They get a stop here, and things start to get really interesting.
Now some hesitation as Mixon eventually receives the kickoff, and after a little confusion makes a nice return to the 35-yard line. Our Pacific Life game summary showing you this scoreline, and the Mountaineers given up for dead, abandoned by almost all of their fans here. Only seeming like 10,000 maybe in the ballpark. But Crawford running, Howard a couple touchdown runs, and a long touchdown pass just a moment ago. 13-point game.
How does Lincoln Riley start to attack? These 2 backs that were so dominant in the first half, 20 yards in the second half. That's it.
This is Mixon diving forward for about 4.
You know, the first half, they were controlling the line of scrimmage. They were running just a couple different plays. There was a counter run, which you just saw, kind of a counter there. Also some inside zone, and they did a really good job of being able to get onto the perimeter with Pirine and Mixon. Haven't seen that at all in the second half.
Mayfield pulls it, takes a shot over the head of Westbrook and almost intercepted. It was at the feet of Jeremy Tyler. 3rd down.
Justin Arndt, the linebacker, closing in on Baker Mayfield, may have caused him to throw this ball high. You could see him kind of falling off of the throw as he was delivering the football. The route was great. He sat in the open spot in the zone. Nice soft spot, wide open. But credit the rush of the linebacker Arndt that time of maybe affecting the accuracy of the throw from Baker Mayfield.
And the Mountaineers could get the football back right here, down just 13. They come after Mayfield, who backpedals and delivers into traffic. It's a 1st down strike. They finally involved Mark Andrews, the fine sophomore tight end.
We talked about Baker Mayfield's growth as a quarterback. In the pocket, 3rd down, crucial moment in the game, makes the throw from right there in the pocket.
Now they run tempo. That was a huge play the way this game has gone the last 10 minutes.
Not to mention how he missed a wide open receiver on 2nd down. Lincoln Riley goes right back to his guy, trusts him to make the right read and to make an accurate throw, and he delivers there on a big 3rd down.
Andrews is often an important part of this passing game. A big, tall tight end. His first reception tonight.
Pirine and Mixon in the backfield together.
Mixon breaks a tackle, stiff arm, and the Sooners finally have the running game going again down near the 30-yard line.
What I love about that is there are no tendencies. They could run right, they could run left. This time they run it to the left. Pirine this time is a lead blocker on the counter play, but they can run that just as easily to the left. Sometimes when there's just the one back, there's some tendencies based on whether he's lined up to the right of the quarterback or to the left. With both of them back there, they're calling their play based more on the formation of the defense and where their strength of the defense and the weakness.
Time Mayfield keeps it, gets a block on the edge and slides down at the 30. Takes a shot after he was sliding. No flag.
It may have been a broken play.
Looked like it.
He put the ball out there to Pirine and nobody was there. He decides just to keep it himself and take off. Pretty good effort there by Walters to lay off. He started to come in and then looks like he tried to pull back instead of coming in hard.
Mayfield wanted the flag, but it didn't appear to warrant it. Mixon is the lone back now. He spins back, cannot escape. He'll be dropped for a loss. Justin Arndt, that linebacker, it was a fine high school quarterback in these parts, made the tackle.
Arndt makes the play, but Schuler, 88, right here. Watch him work. They're slanting and angling. His effort against Brown right there is what caused him to have to give up on the play and try to bounce it to the outside where Arndt was able to make the play. So Arndt gets to tackle, but the big defensive lineman, who's a freshman out of Florida, his ability to slant and take on the big tackle Orlando Brown was the difference in the play.
You saw Arndt there, but Schuler's a guy, a freshman who played 102 snaps in Austin. 102 snaps as a redshirt freshman last week. Mayfield wanted to take a shot downfield, has all day to throw, just delivers underneath. And the catch is made by Geno Lewis, and he fights down inside the 15-yard line.
Boy, this gives you a great look at an experienced receiver just sitting right where he needs to and not panicking. Look out to your left, right out here. Look how he just waits and just kind of sits there in the hole, and eventually, because of the protection up front, Baker Mayfield is able to locate the transfer from Penn State for a big 1st down. Another conversion.
Lewis is a guy that had 90 career catches for the Lions. So a welcome addition to this receiving corps. He's kind of emerges the number 2 guy behind Westbrook. Pirine in the game. He barrels ahead. talked about those two tailbacks, Kirk. It's been very democratic tonight. Perine had 27 carries. Mixon's had 24 carries. 135 and 147 respectively.
Yeah, that's the beauty, though, of having these two together, healthy, and taking some of the wear and tear off of one another. This drive right now, talk about trying to answer, not only get points, but they've already worked over 4 minutes off the clock after not picking up many first downs at all here in this second half.
Mayfield on the blitz, goes end zone, jump ball incomplete. And that was Meade, and now a flag comes out. He was battling Fleming there.
Yeah, Fleming, who transferred from Iowa, was a nickelback for the Hawkeyes last year. That time, we keep talking about defensive backs not finding the ball. Fleming did not get his head turned around and have a chance to make a play on the ball, and he was engaged with the receiver,
Pass
Meade.
interference by number 24 of the defense. The ball will be placed at the 2-yard line. First down.
And he's pushing and shoving, and if he had his head turned around, he's okay. But look at his head. He does not get his head turned around. It's pass interference.
Good tug at the jersey. Our progressive pylon cam gives you another angle of it.
There's the beauty of having a bigger receiver at 6'5". I mean, he threw that ball almost up to the lights, knowing that the big guy could go up and make a play at 6'5".
First and goal at the 2. Now Westbrook in motion, but it's Perine stutter stepping, trying to crawl and extend the ball. Almost spot him just short.
He tried to crawl in there. His knee was down before he did get in there. It's a lot of action in that backfield with the jet sweep. So he's down right there.
You're going to scoot and scrunch across the line.
Yeah. 11th play in this drive coming up.
See if they feed Perine again, looking for the touchdown hat trick tonight. Mayfield on the sneak, trying to get a shove.
Oh, he's short.
Yeah, didn't get there. It'll be third down. Flowers, the fullback, trying to shove him across, but that's just too much traffic.
Yeah, I don't. Well, now they give it to him. Huh.
That is the latest touchdown signal in history. They finally unpiled it.
Yeah, now they're talking. They want Baker Mayfield to stay out there.
Take another look at this. This is the most delayed signal I've ever seen.
But Dave Kataya ran down there and made the call for him. It took forever.
I mean, I guess there was a lot of guys to unpile.
I guess.
To get at number 6 there. They had about 4 blue jerseys to peel away. I mean, I don't think the ball's in the end zone. You can't see where it's extended.
I think that last push there, I'm surprised there wasn't was there a whistle that stopped the play?
Good luck finding the ball. I don't know what you could see, Dave, that would overturn the call on the field of touchdown. They'll try to find something.
The ruling on the field was a touchdown. The previous play is under further review.
Dave, this is all you, buddy.
Yeah, okay. When they have a pile up like that and they can't find the ball, what the officials are going to do is dig to the bottom of the pile, see which team has possession. And he's going to look at it and dig the bottom. And also, you can't see if the runner's actually down or if he's on bodies.
I guess my question would be, wasn't there forward progress or wasn't there whistles blown to indicate that the play was over? They looked like they were in a pile for 7 or 8 seconds. See if we hear a whistle. The whistle. Then he goes in after the whistle.
I mean, yes, he might have been on bodies, but about 8 seconds later, he finally lunges across the goal line. It was tough
when
to
the
see
whistle
ball.
blew. He wasn't anywhere
Didn't
close
appear
to the goal line.
So they could do a replay review, Dave, involving the audio and the timing of the whistle as well.
They could pretty much look at everything, but they've got to find the ball, okay? And if that whistle did blow and it's clear that the ball is short, it's not going to be a touchdown because that means they ruled forward progress on the field. Now, forward progress is only reviewable on a first down or a score, and this is a score. So they can look at it from that, but I don't know where they're going to find the ball. That's what they have to find. It's be very interesting.
Well, the snow's returned, Kirk. This game began a blizzard, and now the snow has returned along with a stiff breeze.
Well, of course, it's always about the ball breaking the plane, and we really don't have any looks to show anything that would.
We can see neither the plane nor the ball, so we're 0 for 2. And
right, there's no way that they'll be able to reverse this.
The problem is, you're right. You hear the whistle blows, and it appears that the ball may be short, but we can't see the ball. That's the problem. We've got a big pileup like that. Like I say, they've got to dig the ball out, see who has possession, and where does the player have possession.
If they do see something to overturn it, it would be 3rd and goal. The ball, you'd figure, just inches away. Here's Cooper Castleberry with the verdict.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands. Touchdown.
So not confirmed, but stands. I guess they couldn't see anything, including the football.
Moral of the story for the kids at home, just whenever you get into the goal line, just keep wiggling the way P. Ryan was into that end zone, and who knows, maybe they'll give you a touchdown.
Absolutely.
So Mayfield caps a drive that covered 65 yards in 11 plays, and as you said, importantly, took 5.5 minutes off the clock. So he's out there to go for 2, try to get it back to 21. And they did sort of get back, as you suggested. They got back on that drive to what was working earlier, the bread and butter plays.
Yep.
Westbrook in motion. Mayfield keeps it, fires end zone, and Andrews collects the 2-point conversion as he comes across and beats Avery, the safety. And it is back to a 21-point lead with 4:37 to play as the Sooners try to finally salt this one away. The Mountaineers putting up a fight. Here's a 2-point play again.
Cassidy Hubbard with your studio update. USC and UCLA after a pick set up a short field. Mike Faithfull connects with Jordan Lastly for the second time tonight. Bruins up 14-7 in the second on ESPN. Chris, Herbie, back to you.
Interesting, Kirk. What does the UCLA victory mean?
It means the Colorado Buffs are headed to the Pac-12 championship game.
Incredible stat here. Check that out. We'll talk about that. Oklahoma has obviously well over the 30-point mark tonight. As Gibson tries to make the return and is knocked down across the 30. You think about how difficult it is sometimes to go on the road and operate offensively, and as Mayfield catches the snowflakes, 16 straight now, true road games, 30-plus points. They're going to win their 11th straight true road game and their 15th straight Big 12 game. That's impressive stuff.
It is, and I'm anxious to see how the committee, after this weekend's games, with the Louisville loss, with some of the things that happened the rest of the weekend, what this win tonight will mean is that Oklahoma is sitting at 9, and everybody's saying that they wanted to see an impressive win on their resume. Well, what will this win do?
Matt Romar struggling there. That's the last thing they need, is another injury to a defensive lineman. He's already been battling an injury and missed 4 games this year. Here's your rankings, Kirk, and again, not much carnage above them today to add to Louisville's loss on Thursday, but Oklahoma is still very much in the mix.
Absolutely, and you look at Louisville out. Washington still has Washington State Friday, day after Thanksgiving. Wisconsin and Penn State potentially could play each other in a Big Ten championship game, and there's Oklahoma. And we're just sitting right there at number 9. More than likely will move up into the top 8 this week coming up on Tuesday night.
They have a bye week, as the Cowboys do, before Bedlam in Norman in a couple of weeks.
That'll be a shootout.
Howard fires far side, incomplete. Oklahoma has never had a chance to play for a Big 12 championship on its own field. They won the Big 8 many times over the years with those collisions with Nebraska, but of course the Big 12 championship game was a neutral site, and the Sooners will have a chance to do something they haven't done before, which is win a conference on their home field, at least in the Big 12. Howard run down and tackled across the 35-yard line. Oklahoma State's playing at a very high level. They went to Fort Worth today, took care of business.
Sure.
Good defensive performance.
Mason Rudolph having a really good year. Has James Washington, a lot of weapons on the outside. They will challenge Bob Stoops' secondary, maybe more than anybody has all year.
And they'll go for their 10th Big 12 title. That would be more than all the other current members have combined. And Howard will be sacked.
Great coverage downfield.
And that will turn it back over.
Go back, real quick, my thought on how it potentially turns out. If Ohio State wins Saturday against Michigan, where they're playing at home, and Clemson wins out, and Alabama wins out, those three teams potentially in the playoff, the argument becomes potentially if Washington won the Pac-12 championship, if Penn State and Wisconsin play in the Big Ten championship, the winner of that game, and then whether it's Oklahoma or Oklahoma State, whoever ends up winning the Big 12, those three teams will be who the committee will be discussing and probably arguing over who potentially gets that fourth spot.
Because there's a lot of hypotheticals and there's time, I won't put your feet to the fire right now to say who you take, because there's a lot of things to still be sorted out.
Yes.
But if it is Oklahoma, and we're not presuming they're going to beat the Cowboys, so calm down, Oak State fans. I get it. As Perine takes off and tries to add another touchdown to his big night, hauled down inside the 10-yard line. But if they get the Cowboys, that'll be another high-quality win.
Yeah.
You put this one with that one, it would be a pretty strong closing statement.
A strong closing statement for a team that got off to a slow start with some injuries and some youth, and didn't quite have the big guns, Westbrook and Perine at 100% early. And they felt the consequences. They were 1-2, but to their credit, after the bye week, they've now won 8 in a row. And are trending and playing much better football, especially offensively. With this firepower they have, they can play with a lot of teams because they can score.
Mayfield didn't handle it cleanly. Hands it off to Perine. There's no taking of the knee here as the Sooners try for another touchdown. Talked about that reveal of the playoff top 25 rankings presented by PlayStation over on ESPN at 7 Eastern time. And besides the reveal of the top 4, which is not likely to change, frankly, there'll be a discussion of the kind of issues you're bringing up about the what ifs and the looking aheads and what will the arguments be if this happens and that happens.
Right, exactly.
That's part of the fun.
Yeah.
It's been a crazy night here. Again, there was a near brawl midfield in the warm-up. It was a very snowy start to the game. It's going to be a snowy finish inside of 2 minutes as Perine sort of picks his way and is knocked down at the 3-yard line.
Bunch of personal
pushing and
fouls,
shoving, which you've had a whole lot of tonight.
It's been chippy, really more in the first half than the second half. And I also got to say about Dana Holgorsen, that first half got embarrassing at times with how they were losing their cool and making some mental mistakes and just becoming frustrated. To their credit, after halftime, when this game looked like it might just completely get away from them, they fought back. They really have kept their competitive spirit intact and done a good job of staying in this game as Perine goes over to the sideline and Mixon also out.
So with the top 2 tailbacks out, Abdul Adams, the true freshman, gets a carry, and he gets knocked down at the 1-yard line. They'll look at the stats after this game, and they'll say, okay, Oklahoma seems like they've got it in hand as we check out the run again. But they'll also see the West Virginia's gained 534 yards, and that's not a touchdown. The other one was?
If Mayfield's a touchdown, that's a touchdown.
I'm confused. I mean, there was no evidence Mayfield had gotten to the end zone before, and they gave him a touchdown. That time Adams clearly, would have loved to have his first career touchdown. Give him another chance. Guy's never scored a touchdown in his career. This would cap it. And he's not going to get one there. It's Mayfield. Just pulls it and walks it. Give the young guy, let him get in the scoring column. I mean, you don't. Did you really need another one for the Q? Anyway, he'll tell his friends, I scored. They should have given me one. I should have been my first career touchdown.
Yeah, I think we can count that one for him.
So now Saber into at it. Cassidy Hubbarth awaiting the Ford wrap-up show. So Baker's stats, Kurt, ends up being just 9 for 15, 169, 2 touchdowns, the interception. And as a runner, he's scored twice, including this one.
It's actually not a call for Baker Mayfield, just a zone read. He read the end, collapsing 8. The outside linebacker came down. He made the right read. He probably wanted to give it to the freshman more than anybody, but it was a walk-in with the read that he had, and he gets an easy score. And Oklahoma, after we showed that graphic, their first 4 drives in the second half were an interception and 3 punts. Since then, back-to-back touchdowns to close the door here in Morgantown.
In the end, it's going to be a 4-touchdown margin, which it was for much of this game before the Mountaineers climbed back within 13. Sybert's kick pushed down inside the 10. Gibson trying to take the long way home. And knocked down at the 25-yard line. We'll hear from Baker Mayfield momentarily with Samantha after the final 18 seconds tick away. And the Sooners will get to 9-2. 8-0 in the conference. They hadn't even started with 5 straight conference wins in quite a few years. And they were sitting there 1-2 after losing to Houston, losing at home to Ohio State. How many people gave them a chance of reeling off, 8 conference wins in a row and being back in the playoff picture? Almost no one, I would say.
Nobody.
Meanwhile, a monster night for this guy. Crawford breaking free, still running, still running, still running. Way over 300 rushing yards for Justin Crawford tonight. Finally run out with 6 seconds to go at the 28th. There's a flag down as well, very late in the play. We'll see if the entire run stands. And Crawford, despite his fumble inside the 5,
after the play,
incredible evening.
Unnecessary roughness on number 90 of the defense. The penalty's half the distance to the goal, and it's first down.
They got Gallimore, so the rush will stand, and Crawford has carried it 24 times for 331 yards, almost 14 yards a carry.
If nothing else you take away from this game is, you have a guy you can is a catalyst for West Virginia, a guy you can really build around, not just because of his numbers that he put up, but because of the attitude that Crawford runs with and the way this game got away from them. He did not give up. If anything, he played harder when they were in that big hole.
Howard spinning away. What's going to be the final play of the game? He fires it over the end zone. 3rd most rushing yards ever, by the way, for a Mountaineer. Tavon Austin has the record. Did it against Oklahoma. The Sooners start fast and furious against a mistake-prone West Virginia team, and they close strong, 56-28. And let's go to Samantha with Baker Mayfield.
Well, Baker, this one started really feisty. So describe to me why this one was so emotionally charged even before it started.
It's always chippy when you play them, and especially because it's just a physical type of game. They're a physical team. So there was a lot of chatter through social media stuff pre-game and during the week. So it kind of got everybody riled up. And then pre-game when both teams met in the middle, there's pushing and shoving. So it was just kind of that game. And we came out with that intensity, and we were able to execute early on.
So obviously early, the weather kind of dictated that you had to run the ball, but you were able to run the ball so well. What enabled the running game to perform that way?
Great offensive line. They're executing and they're playing well right now. And then obviously our running backs, 2 of the most talented guys in the country. So when you have them, you might as well utilize them and hand it off to them. So I'm just here to win games. And if I'm handing it off, that's fine with me.
Baker, as you know, a lot of people wrote y'all off after those 2 early losses. Now people are talking playoff. You head into Bedlam this week. In your mind, is this team playing for a playoff spot?
We absolutely are. I think just the type of game we're playing right now, we're playing well. Defense is coming along. I mean, West Virginia is a good team, and we came into their stadium and won in a good way. So we're playing well, and we just need to keep on making statements and just win the Big 12 and see what happens from there.
Last thing for you, I know you're a Texas boy. You ever played in weather like this?
Absolutely not. Maybe at recess or when they canceled school, but that's it.
Well, you did well. Congratulations on the win. Thanks, Baker.
Yeah, Mayfield, team guy, obviously a Heisman contender, didn't have the kind of passing numbers you'd expect would help his case. Doesn't care about that because it's going to be the Sooners and the Cowboys in the Bedlam series in a couple of weeks for the Big 12 championship and playoff consideration.
And that game is always so much fun every year, and especially when there's that much at stake. And for fans in that state, I know they always hope that it comes down to Bedlam, and this year they get their wish.
All right, now none of the top 4 lost, but do you reshuffle any of yours? And
no, I think I still have Alabama obviously at 1, and Ohio State and Michigan, they'll work that out this Saturday in Columbus, and Clemson sitting there. For me, you know, they'll move up. If Clemson keeps winning, they're going to be in the playoff if they win the ACC, and they got a game with South Carolina, rivalry game. But yeah, that's my 4 right now as we get ready for this.
First team out, is it the Huskies? Is the Sooners get consideration? Is it another Big Ten team?
Sooners get consideration. You know, I would say that Wisconsin is there. You also would have to put Washington there. We'll see if Washington survives Friday when they take on Washington State in the Apple Cup.
Final takeaway: we knew Oklahoma had a huge offense. There's still some defensive concerns, though, heading into the last game off what they did tonight here.
At the very least, you would expect that to be a shootout. A lot of points. Both those quarterbacks and both those offenses, at least going into the game, you would think would have a big game.
Well, Mayfield said that it was social media that set the stage for the feistiness. They would blame something else on social media. When they got to football, it was West Virginia not able to handle the conditions or the emotions, as well as Oklahoma. And the Sooners go on the road and take care of business 56-28 tonight here in snowy Morgantown. The game was produced by Bill Bonnell, directed by Derek Mobley. A salute to our crew who battled these tough conditions tonight. We thank you for watching from Morgantown. I invite you to watch College Game Day from Columbus at 7 a.m. Eastern. And then Wolverines and the Buckeyes on ABC at noon Eastern next Saturday. The Ford Wrap-Up Show right now, and to Cassidy Hubbard.